Take off your clothes. Alicia's breath caught in her throat. She was 23 years old and had never been touched by a man. And now Dante Moretti, her best friend's brother, the most feared mafia boss in New York, stood 3 feet away. His dark eyes were burning into hers. I said, "Take them off, Alicia, or I will do it myself." Her hands trembled as they moved to the zipper of her dress. This wasn't how she imagined losing her innocence. Not in his cold office. Not with her father's blood still wet on the floor. Not like this. 3 hours earlier, Alicia had been a normal girl. She had been studying for her Renaissance art final in the Columbia Library. She wore headphones and was completely absorbed in Caravaggio's use of light and shadow. Her phone had been on silent. She had not seen her father's 17 missed calls. She had not heard the terror in his voicemails. The men came for her at 9 p.m. She was walking to the subway when the black van pulled up. There was no warning and no chance to scream. A hand clamped over her mouth. She felt something sharp against her ribs, and then she was inside. The doors slammed shut as the van peeled away from the curb. "Please," she begged. Her voice was muffled against the stranger's palm. "Please, I have money in my bag. Just take it. Shut up." The man's breath smelled like cigarettes and mint. "Mr. Moretti wants to see you." Her blood turned to ice. Moretti. That was Sophia's last name. Sophia was her best friend who was supposed to be in Paris studying fashion design. Sophia, who never mentioned that her family was the kind of family that sent men in vans to kidnap college students. The ride lasted 20 minutes. When they finally stopped and dragged her out, Alicia found herself in front of a building she recognized from Sophia's Instagram. It was a converted warehouse in Tribeca. It was all glass and steel and old brick. Sophia had posted a photo here once with the caption, "Sunday brunch at Brother's place. He has better taste than me. Laugh out loud." Brother Dante. Alicia had met him exactly twice. Once was at Sophia's birthday party during freshman year. He had shown up late in an expensive suit, kissed his sister's cheek, and left without speaking to anyone else. The second time, he picked Sophia up from their dorm to take her to dinner. Alicia was walking out as they were walking in. He held the door open for her. Their eyes had met for maybe 3 seconds. She felt that look in her bones. Now the men dragged her through a loading dock entrance. They went down a hallway that smelled like concrete and metal, and into a freight elevator. One of them kept his hand on her arm. It was not rough, but firm enough that she knew running was impossible. The elevator opened into a space that stole her breath. It was not an office. It was a throne room disguised as a penthouse. It had 30-foot ceilings, exposed brick, and floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. There was abstract art on the walls that probably cost more than her parents' house. There was a massive desk made of dark wood and chrome, and behind it sat Dante Moretti. He didn't look up when they brought her in. He was reading something on his phone, and his expression was carved from stone. Even sitting, she could tell he was tall, well over 6 feet. His suit was black and perfectly tailored to his broad shoulders. His dark hair was slightly longer than she remembered. It was pushed back from his face in a way that made him look like a Roman emperor. Dangerous, beautiful, and utterly terrifying. "Put her in the chair," he said without looking up. They pushed her into a leather chair facing his desk. One of them zip-tied her wrists to the armrest before she could even think to fight back. "That's not necessary," Dante said, still looking at his phone. "She's not going anywhere. Boss protocol. Get out." The men left immediately. The door closed with a soft click. Silence filled the room like water rising. Alicia's heart hammered so hard she thought it might crack her ribs. "Where is my father?" Dante finally looked up. His eyes were darker than she remembered. They were almost black in the dim lighting. His gaze traveled over her slowly. He looked at her face, her neck, and her body pressed against the chair, cataloging every detail. "Your father," he said slowly, "is indisposed at the moment." "What does that mean? Did you hurt him if I hurt him?" Dante set down his phone with deliberate care. "Alicia, your father hurt himself the moment he sat down at my poker table with money he did not have." The room spun. "What?" $3 million. Dante stood up and she realized she had been right. He was massive, at least 6'3", with the build of someone who could break her in half without trying. "That is what Vincent Romano owes me. He gambled it away over 6 months at my casino. When I finally cut him off, he begged for one more chance. Double or nothing." Dante walked around the desk slowly. He lost. Alicia's throat closed. "That's impossible. My father doesn't gamble. He's an accountant. He is careful with money. Your father is a degenerate gambler with a cocaine problem." Dante stopped in front of her chair. He looked down at her like she was something small and breakable. "He has been lying to you for 2 years. You're lying, am I?" He pulled out his phone, tapped the screen, and turned it toward her. The video showed her father at a poker table. Sweat was pouring down his face. His hands were shaking as he pushed chips forward. His eyes were wild and unfocused. She had seen documentaries about addicts. She never thought she would see her own father looking like that. No, the word came out broken. No, that is not him. It gets better. Dante swiped to the next video. This one showed her father in what looked like a bathroom. He was bent over a counter with a credit card and white powder in front of him. This was taken 3 weeks ago at my club. Alicia couldn't breathe, and she couldn't think. The man in the video looked like her father. He had the same receding hairline and the same glasses. But this version was hollow and desperate. He was nothing like the man who taught her to ride a bike and helped her move into her dorm. Where is he? Her voice shook. I want to see him. Dante considered her for a long moment. Then he pressed a button on his desk. A panel in the wall slid open. Her father stumbled through. He was held up by the same men who had brought Alicia here. His face was a mess. He had a split lip, a blackened eye, and blood crusted under his nose. His shirt was torn. He was crying. Dad! Alicia fought against the zip ties, her wrists burning. Oh my God, what did they do to you? I'm sorry, baby. Her father's words slurred together. I'm so sorry. I thought I could fix it. I thought I could win it back, Mr. Romano. Dante's voice cut through her father's rambling like a knife. Tell your daughter the rest. Her father's face crumpled. I can't, please. Dante, don't make me tell her or I will. I borrowed against the house, her father whispered, and your college fund, and your mother's life insurance. It is all gone, Alicia. Everything. We are going to lose the house next month. The world tilted sideways. Her mother had died of cancer when Alicia was 16. The insurance payout had been $500,000. It was money her father had promised would pay for her education and help her start her life. Gone. You stole from Mom's memory. The words felt like glass in her throat. You stole from me. I was going to win it back. I had a system. I just needed one more chance. Get him out of my sight. Dante's voice was like ice. Get him out before I put a bullet in him just to stop the pathetic whining. They dragged her father away. He was still apologizing, still crying. Alicia watched him disappear through the panel. Something inside her chest cracked open. Then Dante was kneeling in front of her chair with a knife in his hand. She flinched back. Do not move, just relax. He cut the zip ties with 2 quick movements. I told them it was not necessary. Her wrists were red and raw. She rubbed them, trying to process everything that had just happened. Her father was an addict. They were losing the house. Her entire future had just evaporated. Why did you bring me here? She asked numbly. If my father owes you money, what do I have to do with it? Dante stood and returned to his desk. Sit. I'd rather stand. It wasn't a request. Something in his tone made her legs move before her brain could catch up. She sat. Dante pulled out a folder. He opened it to reveal photographs of her. There were dozens of them. Walking to class, studying at the library, getting coffee with Sophia, and volunteering at the hospital. What the hell? Alicia grabbed one of the photos. It was from last week outside her apartment building. You've been watching me. Due diligence. Dante leaned back in his chair. When your father couldn't pay, I looked into his assets. He doesn't have any, but he has something more valuable. Her stomach turned over. Me? You. I am not an asset. I am a person. In my world, people are the most valuable assets of all. His eyes locked onto hers, especially people like you. What is that supposed to mean? He pulled out another photo. This one showed her leaving a church. You volunteer at St. Catherine's Children's Hospital every Tuesday. You read to terminal kids. You have been doing it for 3 years. How do you know that? You have a 3.8 GPA at Columbia. You are writing your thesis on Baroque art. Your advisor says you are the most talented student he has had in a decade. He set down photo after photo. You don't drink and you don't do drugs. You had one boyfriend in high school who lasted 2 months, and another in college who lasted 6 weeks. Neither relationship was consummated. Heat flooded her face. That is none of your business. You are 23 years old and you are still a virgin. Dante said it like he was reading from a grocery list. In a world where everyone is for sale, you are untouched. Pure. That is rare, Alicia. That is valuable. She stood abruptly. I'm leaving. Sit down. Screw you. You can't keep me here. He moved so fast she didn't see it coming. One moment he was behind his desk, and the next he was in front of her, his hand wrapped around her throat. He wasn't choking her, just holding her, with his thumb pressing against her racing pulse. I can do whatever I want, he said softly. I can keep you here. I can sell you to the Bratva for twice what your father owes. I can put you on a plane to Dubai and let you spend the rest of your life servicing oil sheiks. His grip tightened slightly. Or you can sit down, shut up, and listen to the deal I am offering. Tears burned her eyes, but she refused to let them fall. He released her and stepped back. Sit. This time she sat. Dante returned to his desk and pulled out a contract. I need a fiancé. Alicia blinked. What? The Falcone family is making moves against my territory. They think I am weak because I am not married. No family, no legacy. Just a playboy who sleeps with models and runs clubs. He pushed the contract toward her. I need to show them I am settling down and building something legitimate. And you want me to pretend to be madly in love with you. 6 months. You will live in my home, attend events on my arm, and play the devoted future wife. After 6 months, we will have a very public breakup. You walk away. Your father's debt is forgiven. She stared at him. You are insane. I am practical. He pulled out a pen. Your other option is watching your father die slowly and painfully. Then you will spend the rest of your life knowing you could have saved him. This is blackmail. This is business. He leaned forward, and there is one more condition. Sophia can never know the truth. Her best friend's name hit like a punch to the gut. So Sophia is studying in Paris completely unaware of what her family really does. She thinks I run nightclubs and invest in real estate. She is the only innocent thing in my life, and I intend to keep her that way. His expression hardened. If you tell her the truth, any of it, the deal is off and your father dies. Understood? Alicia's hands clenched into fists. How do you live with yourself? Very comfortably, in a penthouse that costs more than most people make in a lifetime. He pushed the pen closer. Sign, Alicia, before I change my mind about being generous. She looked at the contract, the words blurred together. Engagement, public appearances, termination clause. What about? She couldn't believe she was even considering this. What about the physical part? You said I would live in your home, sleep in your bed. Not like that. Something flickered in his eyes. I don't force women into my bed. The engagement will be fake. The living situation is for appearances only. Then why do you need me specifically? Why not hire an actress? Because the Falcones will investigate whoever I claim to be engaged to. They will dig into her past, her family, and her reputation. An actress would be too obvious, a random woman with no history and no connections. They would smell the lie immediately. He gestured at the photos spread across his desk. But you, Sophia Romano's best friend, the sweet college girl who volunteers with dying children, you are perfect. They will never suspect it's fake. You have thought of everything. I always do. Alicia picked up the pen. It was heavy and expensive. It probably cost more than her laptop. 6 months, she said quietly, and then I am free. 6 months, and my father gets clean? I have a rehabilitation facility in upstate New York. It is a 30-day program. If he stays clean after that, the debt is permanently forgiven. If he uses again, Dante shrugged. That is his choice, and Sophia never finds out. Never. Alicia closed her eyes. She thought about her father broken and bleeding, her mother's memory stolen and gambled away, her future hanging by a thread. She signed. The pen scratched across paper, and with each letter of her name, she felt a piece of herself disappear. Dante took the contract, examining her signature. Excellent. He pressed a button on his desk. Marco, take Mr. Romano to the facility. Make sure he arrives in one piece. Wait, Alicia stood. Can I see him before he goes? No, he's my father. He is a junkie who sold his daughter to pay his debts. Dante's voice was flat. You don't owe him anything. I owe him a goodbye. They stared at each other across the desk. Finally, Dante nodded. Her father was brought back in. He was cleaned up slightly but still looked broken. When he saw Alicia, fresh tears spilled down his cheeks. Baby girl, don't. She held up her hand. Just don't. I never wanted this. You have to believe me. I don't have to believe anything. Her voice came out steadier than she felt. You are going to get clean. You are going to get your life together. And when I see you again in 30 days, you are going to be the father I remember. The one who taught me to paint. The one who sat with me all night when Mom died. She stepped closer and lowered her voice. Because if you're not, if you use again, if you waste this chance, I will never forgive you. Do you understand? Her father nodded, unable to speak. Get him out of here, Dante said. This time when they took her father away, Alicia didn't watch. She kept her eyes on the city lights beyond the windows, trying to memorize who she had been 5 hours ago. That girl was gone. Now, your things will be collected from your apartment tomorrow, Dante said, all business again. You will move into the mansion Friday. Valentina, my assistant, will handle the logistics. That is 2 days away. You're a smart girl. You will adapt. He stood, buttoning his suit jacket. One more thing. Tomorrow night, we're having dinner at Il Gattopardo with some business associates. Wear something appropriate. I don't have anything appropriate for your world. You will. He pulled out his phone, typing something. I am sending you to Valentina. She will take care of everything. Wardrobe, etiquette, media training. By tomorrow night, you will know how to be the woman I need you to be. And what kind of woman is that? Dante walked to her slowly. He stopped close enough that she had to tilt her head back to maintain eye contact. He was overwhelming. This close, he was too big, too intense, too everything. The kind of woman who makes men believe she chose me, he said softly. The kind who looks at me like I am the only person in the room. The kind who makes my enemies think I finally found something I would kill to protect. His hand came up. His fingers brushed her jaw so lightly she might have imagined it. Can you do that, Alicia? Her pulse thundered in her ears. I don't know. Then learn. He stepped back abruptly, the moment shattering. Marco will drive you home. Don't speak to anyone about this arrangement. Not your roommate, not your professors, and especially not Sophia when she calls. What do I tell people? Tell them you fell in love. His smile was sharp enough to cut. Tell them it was love at first sight. Make it believable. Lives depend on it. Whose lives? Yours? Your father's. He paused at the door. Everyone you have ever cared about. Then he was gone, and Alicia was alone in the massive office. The contract with her signature was burning a hole in her future. The car ride back to Queens felt like traveling between two different planets. Marco drove in silence while Alicia sat in the back of the black sedan, watching the city blur past. Her phone buzzed. It was a text from Sophia. Babe, how is studying going? I just had the best croissant. Paris is amazing. I wish you were here. Miss you. Alicia stared at the message, her throat tight. Her best friend was halfway across the world, completely unaware that her brother had just bought Alicia like a piece of property. She typed, miss you too, study break needed, talk soon. The response came immediately, yes, call me tomorrow. I have so much to tell you about this guy I met. He is a sculptor and he is gorgeous. Alicia locked her phone without responding. When Marco pulled up to her building, he finally spoke. Miss Romano? She looked at him in the rearview mirror. Mr. Moretti wants you to know that this building is now under surveillance for your protection. You mean so I don't run? Marco's expression didn't change. For your protection. Inside her apartment, her roommate Jenny was watching reality television with a bowl of popcorn in her lap. Hey, how was the library? Jenny didn't look away from the screen. Did you finish your Caravaggio essay? Alicia opened her mouth, then closed it. Yeah, all done. Thank God. You've been so stressed about that. Want to watch? This episode is insane. I'm actually really tired. I think I'll just go to bed. You okay? You look weird. Just exhausted. Alicia forced a smile. See you tomorrow. In her room, she locked the door and leaned against it. She finally let herself breathe. Her hands were shaking. Her whole body was shaking. She looked down at her left hand, which was still bare. Tomorrow there would be a ring. Tomorrow she would start becoming someone else. Alicia walked to her mirror, studying her reflection. She had the same dark hair, the same eyes, and the same face she had this morning. But everything else was different. She was engaged to Dante Moretti. She was lying to her best friend. She was trapped. Her phone buzzed again. It was an unknown number. Tomorrow, 9 a.m., Valentina will pick you up. Be ready. She threw the phone on her bed and pressed her palms against her eyes. But she couldn't stop seeing him. She couldn't stop feeling his hand on her throat and his fingers on her jaw. She couldn't stop hearing his voice. Can you do that, Alicia? She didn't know. But she was going to have to learn, because in 48 hours, her old life would be gone completely, and in its place would be something she couldn't even begin to imagine. Alicia Romano, fiancée to a monster, a girl who had signed away her freedom to save a father who didn't deserve it. The virgin who just promised herself to the devil. She looked at her reflection one more time, memorizing the girl she had been. Tomorrow, that girl would start to disappear, and there was nothing she could do to stop it. Alicia didn't sleep that night. She lay in bed staring at the ceiling, watching shadows shift across the plaster as cars passed on the street below. Every time she closed her eyes, she saw Dante's face. She felt his hand on her throat and heard his voice saying her father was a junkie who had sold her to pay his debts. At 6 a.m., she gave up trying. She showered, standing under water so hot it turned her skin pink. She scrubbed until she felt raw, like she could wash away the contract she had signed, the choice she had made. Jenny knocked on the bathroom door. Leslie, you have been in there forever. You okay? Fine. Her voice came out too bright, too false. I just wanted to get clean before my appointment. Appointment? It is barely 6 in the morning. Hair stuff, you know how it is. The lie tasted like poison. By 8:45 a.m., Alicia was dressed in jeans and a sweater. Her hair was still damp. She sat on the edge of her bed, watching the clock. Her phone sat next to her, silent and accusing. She drafted 17 different texts to Sophia and deleted them all. At exactly 9 a.m., her phone rang. Unknown number. Miss Romano, said the crisp female voice from yesterday. Valentina, I am downstairs. Black Mercedes. You have 2 minutes. The line went dead. Alicia grabbed her bag and rushed for the door. Jenny was in the kitchen making coffee. Whoa, where's the fire? I told you appointment. Alicia didn't stop moving. I'll be back later, maybe. I don't know. You're being weird, Jenny called after her. Like, weirder than normal. But Alicia was already out the door. She took the stairs two at a time because waiting for the elevator felt impossible. Her heart hammered against her ribs. This was real. This was happening. The Mercedes was idling at the curb. It was black, sleek, and completely out of place on her street. The back door opened before she reached it. Valentina sat inside, immaculate in a cream pantsuit, her tablet already open. Get in. We have a lot to do and very little time to do it. Alicia climbed in. The door closed with an expensive-sounding thunk, sealing her inside. The car pulled away from the curb immediately. First stop, Bergdorf's. Mr. Moretti has arranged a private shopping appointment. Valentina scrolled through her tablet without looking at Alicia. You will need evening wear for tonight. Casual pieces for daily life at the mansion. Workout clothes, sleepwear, shoes, accessories, everything. I have clothes. Not for his world, you don't. Valentina finally looked up. Her gaze was assessing and clinical. You are pretty. That helps. But pretty is not enough. You need to look expensive, untouchable. Like the kind of woman Dante Moretti would actually choose. The words stung more than they should have. And what kind of woman is that? The kind who doesn't shop at H&M. Valentina's tone wasn't cruel. Just matter of fact. Look, I am going to be honest with you, because Mr. Moretti values efficiency over feelings. You are out of your depth. This world, his world, has rules you don't understand. There are people who will eat you alive if you show weakness, so teach me. That is what I am here for. Valentina pulled up a document on her tablet. Lesson 1. Never apologize unless you mean it. Lesson 2. Never explain yourself to people who do not matter. Lesson 3. Mr. Moretti is always right in public. Save your disagreements for private. He said the same thing yesterday. Then you are learning. Valentina's expression softened slightly. I have worked for him for 8 years. I have seen him destroy empires and build new ones from the ashes. He is ruthless, calculating, and completely without mercy when it comes to business. She paused. But he protects what is his. For the next 6 months, you are his. That means you are untouchable to everyone else, as long as you play your part. The car pulled up to Bergdorf Goodman. A woman in a black dress was waiting at the entrance. That is Claire. She is going to transform you. Valentina gathered her things. I will be back in 3 hours. Be ready. Alicia wanted to argue, to say she didn't need transforming. But Claire was already opening the car door with a smile that was all teeth and no warmth. Miss Romano, we have been expecting you. Please come with me. The next 3 hours were a blur of dressing rooms and mirrors. There were clothes that cost more than Alicia's entire semester tuition. Claire moved through the store like a general commanding troops. She pulled pieces with surgical precision. This Valentino for tonight. The emerald brings out your eyes and complements Mr. Moretti's preferred color palette. She held up a dress that looked like liquid silk. This Chanel suit for daytime appearances. This lingerie for I don't need lingerie. Alicia's face burned. He said we wouldn't. Men say a lot of things. Claire's smile sharpened. But you will be living in his home. Miss Romano, sharing his space. Things change. Better to be prepared. The lingerie was black lace and silk, barely there. It was the kind of thing Alicia had never even looked at in stores. Claire added it to the growing pile, without waiting for permission. By the time Valentina returned, Alicia was wearing a dress that cost $8,000 and shoes that made her 3 inches taller. Her reflection looked like a stranger, polished, expensive, completely unrecognizable. Perfect, Valentina circled her slowly. Now you look the part. The salon. I just washed my hair. We're not washing it, we're fixing it. Valentina was already heading for the door. And then we're doing your makeup. Light and natural, but better than what you do yourself. 4 hours later, Alicia's hair had been cut, colored with subtle highlights she couldn't even see, and styled into soft waves that framed her face. Her makeup was so natural she barely looked like she was wearing any. But somehow her eyes looked bigger, her cheekbones sharper, and her lips fuller. Last stop. Valentina checked her watch. Mr. Moretti wants to see you before tonight's dinner, to make sure everything meets his standards. Alicia's stomach dropped. He's going to inspect me. He's going to make sure you're ready. Valentina's expression was unreadable. There's a difference. The car drove them to Tribeca, to the same building where Alicia had signed away her freedom. But this time, they didn't go to the office. The elevator opened directly into a penthouse that made Alicia's breath catch. Floor-to-ceiling windows overlooked the Hudson River. The space was massive with an open concept. It was all clean lines, expensive furniture, and art that probably belonged in museums. Everything was black, white, or gray, except for small pops of color that drew the eye. A red painting above the fireplace. Green accent pillows on the leather sofa. Wait here. Valentina disappeared down a hallway, leaving Alicia alone in the living room. She walked to the windows, looking out at the city sprawling below. From here, New York looked beautiful and manageable, like something that could be controlled. She wondered if that's how Dante saw the world, like a map he could redraw at will. You clean up well. She spun around. Dante stood in the hallway wearing dark slacks and a white dress shirt with the sleeves rolled up. He wore no tie and no jacket, just expensive fabric, stretched across broad shoulders and forearms, that looked like they had been carved from marble. He looked different here, less controlled, more dangerous. Valentina said you wanted to see me. Alicia hated how small her voice sounded. I wanted to make sure she didn't overdo it. He walked closer, his eyes traveling over her slowly. But she got it exactly right. You look expensive without looking like you're trying too hard. Is that a compliment? It's an observation. He stopped a few feet away. Turn around. Excuse me? I need to see the whole picture. Turn around. Heat flooded her face, but she did it, turning slowly while his eyes catalogued every detail. When she faced him again, his expression was unreadable. The dress for tonight, Valentina showed you the green one? Yes. Good. We leave at 7. Valentina will brief you on the guests, what to say and what not to say. Tonight is important, Alicia. These men are my business partners. They need to believe we're real. I understand. Do you? He moved closer, and suddenly the room felt smaller. Because if you hesitate, if you flinch when I touch you, if you look at me with fear instead of affection, they will know. And if they know, the Falcones will know. And then people start dying. Her throat tightened. No pressure then. I don't deal in pressure. I deal in reality. His hand came up, cupping her jaw the way he had last night. His thumb traced her cheekbone. When I touch you like this tonight, you need to lean into it. Look at me like I am the only person who matters. Can you do that? His touch was warm, gentle even, but it made every nerve in her body scream run. I'll try. Trying isn't good enough. His grip tightened slightly. You need to sell it, Alicia. Make them believe you want this. Want me? I'm not an actress. Then pretend I'm someone else, someone you would actually want. His voice dropped lower. Someone who doesn't terrify you. But that was the problem. She couldn't think of anyone else when he was this close. She couldn't imagine anyone else's hand on her face, anyone else's eyes burning into hers with that intensity. What if I can't? The question came out as a whisper. Dante leaned in until his lips were inches from hers. Then your father dies and I find another solution, one that doesn't involve being gentle. He released her and stepped back, the moment shattering. Valentina will bring you back here at 6:30. Don't be late. Then he walked away, disappearing down the hallway and leaving Alicia alone with her racing heart and trembling hands. Valentina appeared from another room. Come. We have one more stop. Where? The jeweler. You need an engagement ring. The ring was waiting at a private jeweler in the Diamond District, not waiting to be selected. Waiting, already chosen, already sized. The jeweler was an older man with careful hands and kind eyes. He opened the box with reverence. Alicia's breath stopped. The emerald was massive, easily 4 carats. It was surrounded by diamonds that caught the light and threw it back in 1,000 directions. The band was platinum, delicate despite the size of the stone. It belonged to Mr. Moretti's grandmother, the jeweler said softly. She was a remarkable woman, died in her sleep at 93, the only Moretti to die of natural causes in 4 generations. He said it like it was something to be proud of. It's beautiful, Alicia whispered, even though beautiful felt inadequate. May I? The jeweler reached for her hand. She let him slide the ring onto her finger. It fit perfectly, like it had been made for her. The weight of it was shocking. Not just the physical weight, but what it represented. A claim, a brand, proof that she belonged to Dante Moretti. Perfect, Valentina said. Don't take it off. You're engaged now. Miss Romano, act like it. Back in the car, Alicia couldn't stop staring at the ring. The emerald seemed to glow from within, pulsing with its own dark light. His grandmother was named Lucia, Valentina said suddenly. She married Antonio Moretti when she was 16. He was 45. It was an arranged marriage to cement a business alliance. Alicia looked up. That's horrible. That's the world you're in now. Valentina met her eyes. But Lucia was smart. She learned to survive, to thrive. Even by the time Antonio died, shot in the back by the Gambinos, she had built her own empire. She controlled half the suppliers in the city. She lived another 40 years, died surrounded by grandchildren, and was buried with full honors. Valentina paused. Dante loved her more than anyone else in his family. Giving you her ring means something. It means I'm a good prop, maybe. Valentina's expression was unreadable. Or maybe it means he sees something in you that reminds him of her. Strength hiding beneath compliance. Steel wrapped in silk. Alicia looked back at the ring. I'm not strong. You signed a contract to save your father's life. You walked into Dante Moretti's office alone and agreed to his terms without breaking down. You're stronger than you think, Miss Romano. Valentina's voice softened. The question is whether you're strong enough to survive what comes next. The car dropped her back at her apartment at 4 p.m. 3 hours until she had to be ready for dinner. 3 hours to become someone who could convince a room full of killers that she was in love with their boss. Jenny was on the couch again, but this time she sat up when Alicia walked in. Holy shit. What happened to you? Alicia had forgotten she looked different. I just got my hair done. Your hair, your makeup, your clothes. Leslie, you look like you stepped out of Vogue. Jenny's eyes landed on the ring. Her mouth fell open. What the hell is that? Alicia's stomach dropped. She had forgotten about the ring too. I was going to tell you. Tell me what, that you're engaged to who? Jenny jumped up. You don't even have a boyfriend. Yesterday, you were stressed about your Caravaggio essay, and today you're wearing a rock the size of my head. It's complicated. Complicated? Leslie, what's going on? Are you in trouble? Yes, Alicia wanted to scream. I am in so much trouble I can't even explain it, but Dante's warning echoed in her head. Don't tell anyone. Lives depend on it. I met someone. The lie came easier this time. It happened really fast. I know it sounds crazy. Crazy? It sounds insane. Who is he? When did you meet him? Why didn't you tell me? His name is Dante. He is Sophia's brother. Jenny's expression shifted from shock to confusion. Wait. Sophia Romano's brother? The one who's in the mafia? He's not in the mafia. Another lie, smooth as silk. He runs nightclubs and real estate. Sophia's family is just traditional. Old school. Traditional old school doesn't get you a ring like that. Jenny grabbed Alicia's hand, examining the emerald. This is real, isn't it? This is actually real. Yes. How did this happen? When did you even see him? A few days ago. He came by campus to drop something off for Sophia and we started talking. And Alicia's voice trailed off. She didn't know how to finish the lie. She didn't know what a normal engagement story sounded like. And you fell in love and got engaged in less than a week? Jenny's eyes narrowed. That's not like you, Leslie. You're careful, you overthink everything. You wouldn't just. Sometimes you meet someone and you just know. Alicia pulled her hand back. I know it's fast, I know it's crazy. But it's real, Jenny. I promise it's real. The lies kept piling up, suffocating her. Jenny stared at her for a long moment. Are you sure you're okay? You can tell me if something's wrong. If someone's forcing you. Nobody's forcing me. Alicia forced a smile. I'm happy. Really happy, I just need to get ready. We're having dinner with some of his friends tonight. You're moving too fast. I know what I'm doing. Alicia headed for her room before Jenny could ask more questions. I'll tell you everything later, I promise. Another lie. In her room, Alicia locked the door and pressed her back against it, her heart racing. She pulled out her phone. 5 missed calls from a number she didn't recognize. 3 texts. The first text. This is Sophia's number in Paris. Call me back. Emergency. The second text. Leslie, seriously, I need to talk to you. It's about my brother. The third text. Fine, be mysterious. But I'm calling you in 1 hour and you better answer. Alicia's hand shook as she dialed. Sophia picked up on the first ring. Finally. I've been trying to reach you all day. Sorry, I was busy. What's the emergency? My brother called me this morning. Sophia's voice was breathless and excited. He told me he's engaged. Engaged. Leslie, Dante Moretti is actually settling down. I literally laughed in his face, but he swore it was true. He wouldn't tell me who, though. He said he wanted to tell the family in person first. Alicia's throat closed. That's big news, I know. I've been trying to figure out who it could be. He dates models and actresses, but he never gets serious. Whoever she is, she must be special. Sophia paused. You okay? You sound weird. I'm fine. Just surprised. Me too. I'm flying home next week. He's throwing an engagement party and he wants me there. Can you believe it? My antisocial, commitment-phobic brother is having a party. Sophia laughed. You have to come with me. Moral support. Plus, I want you to meet her before anyone else does. Alicia closed her eyes. Sophia, please. I know you're busy with school, but this is huge. My brother is finally happy. I need my best friend there. Of course I'll be there. The words came automatically. What else could she say? I wouldn't miss it. You're the best. Okay, I have to go. Giovanni is taking me to this gallery opening. But I'll call you tomorrow, okay? I want to hear everything about what's happening with you. You sound different. I'm just tired. Well, get some sleep. Love you. Love you too. The line went dead. Alicia sat on her bed staring at the phone in her hand. In 1 week, Sophia would fly home. She would walk into her brother's engagement party. She would see Alicia standing next to Dante, wearing his grandmother's ring, playing the role of devoted fiancé. Her best friend would smile and congratulate them and never know the truth. Alicia ran to the bathroom and threw up. At 6:15 p.m., Valentina texted, "Car is outside. 15 minutes." Alicia had been ready for 20 minutes. She was pacing her room in the emerald dress that clung to every curve. The woman in the mirror looked like someone who belonged in Dante's world. Confident, expensive, beautiful. A complete lie. Leslie? Jenny knocked softly. Can I come in? Yeah. Jenny opened the door and stopped, her eyes widening. Oh my god, you look ridiculous. Stunning. Absolutely stunning. Jenny's expression softened. I'm sorry I freaked out earlier. If you're happy, I'm happy for you, even if it is crazy fast. Thanks, Jen. Just promise me one thing. Jenny grabbed her hand. Promise me that if something's wrong, if you need help, you'll call me no matter what. Alicia squeezed her fingers. I promise. The last lie hurt the most. The Mercedes was waiting. This time, Dante was inside. He looked up from his phone as she climbed in and something flickered in his eyes. Surprise, maybe, or appreciation. It was gone too quickly to tell. Close your mouth, Valentina, he said to the front seat. You're supposed to be professional. Valentina laughed. I'm professional, boss, but I'm not blind. Dante's eyes returned to Alicia. You'll do. High praise, she muttered. You want compliments, date someone else. But his hand found hers in the space between them. His fingers threaded through hers. For the next 3 hours, you are madly in love with me. Remember that. How could I forget? His grip tightened. Don't be smart. Be sweet. These men expect sweet. What if I'm not sweet? Then pretend. He lifted her hand, pressing his lips to her knuckles. The gesture should have felt romantic. Instead, it felt like a warning. Just like I'm pretending you're not terrified of me right now. Her breath caught. I'm not. You are. I can feel your pulse. His thumb pressed against her wrist, right over her racing heartbeat. But that's fine. Fear can look like excitement if you sell it right. The restaurant was the same one from last night, but this time there were more people. 10 men, all in expensive suits. All with the same dangerous edge. Their wives and girlfriends wore dresses that probably cost more than Alicia's entire education. Dante's hand settled on her lower back as they entered. His touch was possessive. Smile, he murmured against her ear. Like you can't believe your luck, she smiled, and felt her face crack with the effort of it. Dante, one of the men, stood, arms open. And this must be the famous fiancé. Alicia Romano, meet Carlo Benedi. Dante's hand pressed harder against her back. Carlo, my future wife. Future wife. The words made her dizzy. Carlo took her hand, kissing it with theatrical flourish. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You have done well, Dante. I know. Dante pulled her closer, his arm wrapping around her waist. To everyone else, it probably looked affectionate. Alicia could feel the steel beneath the gesture. Shall we sit? Dinner was a performance. Alicia played her part, laughing at jokes she didn't understand, and nodding at stories about shipments and territories that were obviously about something illegal. Dante's hand stayed on her thigh under the table. His thumb drew circles that should have been comforting, but felt like a brand. So, Alicia, one of the wives, Gabriella, married to the salt and pepper man Roberto, leaned forward with a smile full of venom. How did you meet our Dante? Every eye turned to her. This was a test. She could feel it. Through my best friend, actually. Alicia's voice came out steady, surprising herself. Sophia, his sister. Ah, sweet Carlo grinned. Still in Paris? Yes, she's studying fashion design. And you? Gabriella's eyes glittered. What do you do? I was studying art history at Columbia, but I have taken a leave of absence. Alicia felt Dante's hand tighten on her thigh. Some things are more important than degrees, like love. Gabriella's tone made it clear she didn't believe in either. Like family. Alicia met her eyes. Dante is my family now. Dante's fingers dug into her leg. But when she glanced at him, his expression was pleased. She had said the right thing, family. Roberto raised his glass. To Dante and his beautiful bride-to-be. May your union be long and profitable. Everyone drank, including Alicia, the wine burning down her throat. The night wore on. More wine, more stories, more performance. By the time dessert arrived, Alicia's face hurt from smiling. Her body hurt from Dante's constant touching. His hand on her back, her shoulder, her knee. Claiming her in front of everyone. Excuse me, she stood abruptly. I need to use the restroom. I'll go with you. Gabriella stood too, her smile sharpening. In the bathroom, Gabriella lit a cigarette and blew smoke toward the ceiling. So, how much is he paying you? Alicia's blood turned cold. I don't know what you mean, please. Gabriella laughed. I wasn't born yesterday. Dante Moretti doesn't do love. He does business. So, what is the arrangement? 6 months? A year? How much to play devoted fiancé? It's not like that, honey. It is always like that in our world. Gabriella took another drag. My husband bought me from my father for $3 million and a shipment of cocaine, so I have been playing devoted wife for 15 years. She examined her perfectly manicured nails. The trick is to take what you can while you can. Jewelry, clothes, money. Bank it somewhere he can't touch. Because when he is done with you, and he will be done with you will need something to show for it besides trauma. Alicia's hands clenched into fists. Dante isn't like that. You really believe that? Gabriella's expression shifted to something almost like pity. Oh, sweetheart, you're not being paid enough for this. You're actually falling for him. I'm not. Yes, you are. I can see it. Gabriella crushed out her cigarette. Word of advice. Don't. Men like Dante don't love. They possess. They consume. And when they are done, there is nothing left of you but bones. She walked out, leaving Alicia alone with her reflection, and the truth she didn't want to face. When Alicia returned to the table, Dante stood immediately. We're leaving. But dessert, now. His tone left no room for argument. In the car he was silent and angry. Alicia could feel it radiating off him in waves. What did Gabriella say to you? He finally asked. Nothing important. Don't lie to me. He turned to face her fully. What did she say? She asked if you were paying me. Alicia met his eyes. She thought this was a business arrangement. And what did you tell her? That she was wrong. Something in his expression shifted. Was she? The question hung in the air between them. Was this just business? Was that all it would ever be? I signed a contract, Alicia said quietly. You're clearing my father's debt. That sounds like business to me. Dante stared at her for a long moment. Then he pulled her across the seat, his hands framing her face, and kissed her. This wasn't like the brief kiss at dinner last night. This was deep, demanding, consuming. His tongue traced the seam of her lips until she opened for him. And then he was everywhere, tasting her, claiming her, stealing her breath. When he finally pulled back, they were both breathing hard. That, he said roughly, was not business. Before Alicia could respond, before she could process what had just happened, he released her and turned away. Take her home, Marco? Boss, I thought. Take her home. The rest of the ride passed in silence. When they pulled up to her building, Dante didn't look at her. Tomorrow the movers come. Be ready by noon. Don't bring anything that matters. Where you're going, none of it will fit. Then he was gone. The car pulled away, leaving her on the sidewalk, her lips still burning from his kiss. Alicia touched her mouth, trying to understand what had just happened. That was not business. So what was it? Alicia did not go inside right away. She stood on the sidewalk, watching Dante's car disappear into traffic, her fingers pressed against her lips. She could still taste him, still feel the heat of his mouth, the grip of his hands on her face, the way he had pulled her across the seat like he couldn't get close enough. That was not business. What the hell did that mean? Her phone buzzed, a text from an unknown number that she now recognized as Dante's. Don't overthink it. See you tomorrow. She wanted to throw the phone into the street. She wanted to scream. Instead, she typed back. Too late. His response came immediately. Get some sleep. You'll need it. She went upstairs to find Jenny asleep on the couch, the television still playing. Alicia turned it off, covered her roommate with a blanket, and went to her room. She should pack. She should sort through her things and decide what mattered. But Dante's words echoed in her head. Don't bring anything that matters. Where you're going, none of it will fit. He wasn't just talking about clothes. The next morning arrived too fast. Alicia woke to pounding on her door. Movers, a gruff voice called out. We're here for the Romano pickup. She looked at her clock. It was 8 a.m., Dante had said noon. She grabbed her phone and found 3 texts from Valentina. Each one was more urgent than the last change of plans. Movers arriving at 8. Mr. Moretti moved up the timeline. Don't ask why. Be ready in 30 minutes. Car is coming for you. Alicia threw on jeans and a sweater, her hands shaking. In the living room, 4 men in gray uniforms were already boxing up her things with mechanical efficiency. Wait, I didn't. She started. Everything on this list, ma'am. The lead mover showed her a clipboard. Her entire room was itemized, clothes, books, laptop, everything. Mr. Moretti's orders. We'll have it all at the mansion by this afternoon. Jenny emerged from her bedroom, her eyes wide. What the hell is happening? I'm moving out. The words felt surreal. I was going to tell you when, after you were already gone. Jenny's voice cracked. Leslie, this is insane. You're moving in with a guy you just met. What about school? What about your life? This is my life now. No, this is someone else's life. You don't just abandon everything for a man you barely know. I know him well enough. Another lie. She barely knew him at all. Jenny, please just trust me. Trust you? You won't even tell me what's really happening. Jenny grabbed her arm. Is he threatening you? Is your family in trouble? Because if something's wrong, we can figure it out. You don't have to do this alone. Alicia pulled away. I'm not alone. I have Dante. The words tasted like ash, but they were all she had. Jenny stared at her for a long moment, tears streaming down her face. I don't even know who you are anymore. Neither do I, Alicia whispered. Valentina arrived at 8:30. She took one look at Jenny's tear-stained face and steered Alicia toward the door. Say your goodbyes. We're on a schedule. I didn't get to pack. Everything you need is already at the mansion. Everything you don't need is being stored. Move. In the car, Alicia watched her building shrink in the side mirror. 4 years of her life disappearing in seconds. Why did he move up the timeline? She asked. Valentina's expression was tight. The Falcones know about the engagement. They're already asking questions and digging into your background. Mr. Moretti wants you behind his walls before they get too curious. What happens if they find out it's fake? They won't. Valentina's voice was steel. Because you are going to make damn sure they believe it's real. The mansion was in Westchester, 40 minutes from the city. The car turned off a tree-lined road and through gates that opened automatically. It revealed a property that made Alicia's breath stop. It wasn't a mansion. It was an estate. Stone and glass and perfectly manicured grounds that stretched as far as she could see. The main house looked like something from a European castle. 3 stories, wings extending in both directions, and windows that caught the morning sun and threw it back in blinding flashes. "Welcome home," Valentina said without irony. Inside was even worse. Marble floors, crystal chandeliers, and art on the walls that Alicia recognized from her textbooks. A Monet in the entrance hall, a Picasso in the living room. Pieces worth millions displayed like they were nothing. "Your suite is on the 3rd floor." Valentina led her to a sweeping staircase. "East wing. Mr. Moretti's rooms are in the west wing. You will share common spaces, but have separate private quarters. He said I'd sleep in his bed for appearances at events. Yes. Here you have your own space, unless circumstances require otherwise." Valentina pushed open a door. "This is you." The suite was bigger than Alicia's entire apartment. A sitting room with floor-to-ceiling windows, a bedroom with a king-size bed, and a bathroom with a tub that could fit 4 people. Everything was done in soft grays and whites, with touches of gold that caught the light. "Your clothes will be unpacked by this afternoon, and there is a laptop on the desk with secure access to your Columbia coursework. Meals are served in the dining room at 8 a.m. and 7 p.m., but you can request food anytime through the house phone." Valentina pointed to an antique telephone on the nightstand. "Staff quarters are in the south wing. You have a personal maid, Rosa, who will help you with anything you need. Questions? Where's Dante?" "In the city. Business meeting." Valentina checked her watch. "He'll be back for dinner. Until then, familiarize yourself with the house. Don't go into the west wing without permission. Don't enter Mr. Moretti's office. Don't speak to the guards unless spoken to first. And for God's sake, don't try to leave the property. The gates are monitored. So I'm a prisoner. You're protected." Valentina's expression softened slightly. The difference matters. She left, and Alicia was alone in a suite that cost more to furnish than most people made in a lifetime. She walked to the windows, looking out at grounds that seemed to go on forever. Somewhere beyond the trees, there was a fence, guards, cameras, everything designed to keep people out. Or keep her in. Her phone rang. Sophia. Alicia's heart stopped. She stared at the screen, watching her best friend's name flash again and again. Finally, she answered. "Hey. Oh my God, finally. I've been calling all morning." Sophia's voice was bright, excited, and completely oblivious. "Leslie, you're never going to believe what happened. Dante called me last night. He told me who he's engaged to." The world tilted. "He did?" "Yes, and I screamed. Like, actually screamed. Giovanni thought someone died." Sophia laughed. "Leslie, it's you. My brother is marrying my best friend. How insane is that?" Alicia sat down hard on the bed. "He told you. He said you were worried about how I'd react, that you didn't want to ruin our friendship." Sophia's voice turned soft. "Babe, why would you think that? This is the best news ever. You're going to be my sister." "Actually, my sister." "Sophia, I know it's fast. Dante said the same thing, but who cares? When you know, right? And honestly, I've always thought you two would be perfect together. Remember that time you met him at my birthday party? You couldn't stop talking about how intense he was. Alicia had said he looked dangerous, like someone who could ruin your life without blinking." Sophia had laughed and said, "That's just Dante being Dante." "I remember," Alicia whispered. "I'm coming home early. Screw school. My best friend is marrying my brother. I need to be there for all of it. The planning, the dress shopping, everything." Sophia paused. "You're happy, right? Like, really happy?" "I am." Alicia's throat closed. "Yeah, really happy. The lie hurt more than all the others combined." "Good, because Dante needs someone like you. Someone good and pure and totally unlike the women he usually dates. You're going to save him, Leslie. I can feel it." After they hung up, Alicia lay back on the bed and stared at the ceiling. Sophia was coming home. She would see them together. She would believe the lie, because why wouldn't she? Her best friend and her brother falling in love. It was perfect. It was a fairy tale. It was poison. A knock on the door made her sit up. A woman in her 50s entered. She was wearing a simple black dress and a kind smile. "Miss Romano, I'm Rosa. I'll be helping you settle in." Her accent was Italian, warm and musical. "Your things are arriving now. Would you like me to unpack for you?" "I can do it myself. Please, it's my job." Rosa moved to the closet, opening doors to reveal a space the size of Alicia's old bedroom. Mr. Moretti has very specific preferences for how things should be organized. It's easier if I show you. For the next 2 hours, Rosa unpacked while explaining the house rules. Breakfast was informal, but dinner was formal attire only. Dante hated lateness. The staff was loyal to the family and had been for generations. The East Wing was Alicia's domain. The West Wing was Dante's, and the ground floor was neutral territory. What about his office? Alicia asked. We don't go in there ever, even to clean. Why? Because Mr. Moretti values his privacy. Rosa's voice was careful, and because the last maid who entered without permission was fired on the spot. She had been with the family for 20 years. Message received. By the time Rosa left, the suite looked lived in. Alicia's clothes hung in the closet next to pieces Valentina had ordered. Thousands of dollars of designer labels that Alicia would never have chosen for herself. Her books were on the shelves, her laptop set up on the desk, her art supplies arranged in the sitting room. It looked like her life. It felt like someone else's. She was exploring the bathroom. It had heated floors, a shower with 6 heads, and towels softer than anything she had ever touched. Then her phone rang again. Dante, how's the suite? His voice was rough, like he had been yelling. It's fine, big, you'll get used to it. Background noise filtered through, voices. Traffic. Dinner is at 7. Wear the black dress Valentina ordered. The one with the low back. Why? We're having guests. Family. He paused. My mother wants to meet you. Alicia's stomach dropped. Your mother? Don't sound so terrified. She's harmless. His tone suggested the opposite. Mostly just smile. Agree with everything she says, and don't mention Sophia's studying fashion. She thinks it's frivolous. What should I say Sophia's doing? International business with a focus on luxury brands. Close enough to the truth that she won't slip up when she comes home. Dante's voice hardened, and she is coming home. She called me this morning. She's leaving Paris next week. I know. She called me too. Silence. Then what did you tell her? What was I supposed to tell her? You already told her we're engaged. I just went along with it. Good. He exhaled. This is going to get more complicated before it gets easier. When does it get easier? It doesn't. The line went dead. Alicia threw the phone on the bed and pressed her palms against her eyes. Dante's mother tonight. She wasn't ready for this. She wasn't ready for any of it. A soft knock interrupted her spiral. Rosa, again. Miss Romano, Mr. Moretti called. He wants you in the library at 6 for a briefing, before his mother arrives. The library, 1st floor, west corridor. I will show you. The library was everything Alicia imagined a rich person's library would be. Floor-to-ceiling books, leather chairs, a fireplace that could roast a pig, and Dante standing by the window in dark slacks and a white shirt, sleeves rolled up, looking every inch the king of his castle. He turned when she entered. His eyes traveled over her, still in jeans and a sweater. His mouth tightened. I told you to wear the black dress. Dinner isn't for an hour. When I tell you to wear something, you wear it. Not when it's convenient. Immediately, he crossed to her in 3 long strides. Do you understand what tonight is? My mother isn't some business associate you can charm with a smile. She is a Moretti. She will look for cracks, for weakness, for any sign this isn't real. And if she finds it, she will tear you apart. Then maybe you should have given me more than 2 hours' notice. His hand shot out, gripping her chin and forcing her to meet his eyes. Do not get smart with me right now. I am trying to prepare you for something you are not equipped to handle. Let go of me. No. His grip tightened. You need to understand something. My mother has survived 3 decades in this world by being sharper, crueler, and more calculating than any man in this family. She will eat you alive if you show fear. So, you are going to put on that dress. You are going to smile. And you are going to make her believe you are so desperately in love with me that you would burn the world down to keep me. I don't know how to do that. Then learn fast. He released her abruptly. You have 45 minutes. Go, Alicia, ran. Back in her suite, she found the black dress hanging in the closet. Rosa must have steamed it while she was gone. It was beautiful. Simple, elegant, with a back that plunged dangerously low. The kind of dress that required confidence Alicia did not have. She put it on anyway, fixed her makeup, straightened her hair, stared at the stranger in the mirror, and tried to find something to hold on to. The emerald ring caught the light. Lucia Moretti's ringing. The woman who had survived an arranged marriage and built an empire, who had lived to 93, surrounded by family. Strength hiding beneath compliance, steel wrapped in silk. Alicia could do this. She had to. At 6:55, she descended the stairs. Dante was waiting in the entrance hall, now in a full suit, looking like he had stepped out of a magazine. His eyes locked onto her, and something dark flashed across his face. Better, he said roughly. Come here. She went to him. He pulled her close, his hands settling on her bare back, his touch burning against her skin. My mother will ask invasive questions. Answer honestly when you can, lie when you can't. She'll know if you're uncomfortable, so don't show it. His thumb traced her spine. She'll also notice if we're not physically comfortable with each other, so when I touch you, you lean into it. Understand? Yes. Good. His hand slid lower, resting just above the curve of her ass. And one more thing. My mother is the only person in my life whose opinion matters. Make her like you, and the next 6 months will be easier. Make her suspicious, and your father dies in a car accident tomorrow. Alicia's blood turned to ice. You wouldn't test me. His eyes were black. Please, I'd love an excuse to show you exactly what I'm capable of. The doorbell rang. Dante's expression transformed instantly, smooth, charming, the perfect son. His hand stayed on Alicia's back as he led her to the door. A butler opened it to reveal a woman who made Alicia's breath catch. Isabella Moretti was in her early 60s, but age had only sharpened her beauty. She was tall, elegant, wearing a cream suit that probably cost more than a car. Her dark hair was swept back from a face that was all sharp angles and knowing eyes. Eyes that were currently dissecting Alicia like she was a specimen under a microscope. Mother, Dante kissed both her cheeks. You're early. I'm punctual. You're consistently late. Isabella's voice was smoke and steel, and this must be the girl who's managed to trap my son. I didn't trap him, Alicia started. Didn't you? Isabella's smile was all teeth. Dante has spent 15 years avoiding commitment, and suddenly he's engaged to a college student he's known for a week. That's either a trap or a psychotic break. I'm trying to determine which. Mother, Dante's voice carried a warning. Be nice. I'm always nice, darling. It's one of my most dangerous qualities. Isabella swept past them into the house. Well, are we eating, or are you going to let me stand in the entrance hall all evening? Dinner was served in a dining room that could seat 30. Isabella sat at one end of the long table, Dante at the other, with Alicia positioned between them like a sacrifice. The food was exquisite. Courses that kept coming, each one more elaborate than the last. Alicia could barely taste any of it. So, Alicia, Isabella delicately cut into her fish. Tell me about your family. There's not much to tell. My mother died when I was 16. My father is an accountant. An accountant. Isabella's tone suggested she'd said trash collector. How quaint. And what does he think of your engagement to my son? Alicia's throat tightened. She thought of her father broken and bleeding in Dante's office. He's supportive. I'm sure he is. Marrying into the Moretti family must be quite the opportunity for a man of his circumstances. Isabella took a sip of wine. What does he account exactly? Small businesses, taxes, that sort of thing. And he raised you alone after your mother's death. Yes, how admirable. Isabella's smile sharpened. Single fathers so rarely manage to raise daughters with any sense of propriety. But you seem adequately mannered. Did you have help? An aunt, grandmother? Just my father. Fascinating. Isabella turned to Dante. And where did you meet this paragon of lower middle-class virtue? Through Sophia. Dante's voice was calm, but Alicia could see the muscle ticking in his jaw. They're best friends, have been for years. Ah, yes, Sophia. Isabella's expression softened slightly. How is she? Still in Paris wasting time on that fashion nonsense. She's studying international business, Alicia said quickly, remembering Dante's coaching, with a focus on luxury brands. Better, Isabella nodded. At least that has some practical application. Unlike art history, which I'm told is your area of study. It was. I've taken a leave of absence. To do what? Plan the wedding? Isabella laughed. Darling, that's what Valentina is for. Surely you have better things to do with your time than play housewife. I'm not playing, aren't you? Isabella's eyes bore into her. You're 23 years old. You've been engaged for less than a week. You've moved into my son's home and abandoned your education. That doesn't strike you as hasty? When you know, Alicia said, echoing Sophia's words. Do you know, I mean? Isabella set down her fork. Tell me, what do you love about my son specifically? The question hung in the air like a blade. Dante's hand found hers under the table, gripping tight, a reminder. Make her believe. Alicia looked at him across the table. His dark eyes held hers, unreadable and intense. I love that he's honest, she said slowly, brutally honest. He doesn't lie to make me comfortable. He tells me exactly what he expects and what he's willing to give. She paused. I love that he protects the people he cares about. His sister, his family, he'd do anything for them, including marry a stranger. Isabella's voice was soft. Dangerous. I'm not a stranger. Not anymore. Alicia squeezed Dante's hand. We might have met recently, but I know him. Know what he's capable of. The good and she caught herself. The complexity. Isabella studied her for a long moment. Then she smiled and it was genuine. You're smarter than you look. Thank you. It wasn't a compliment, just an observation. Isabella stood. Dante, walk me out. I'd like a word. Alicia, it was educational meeting you. Dante released Alicia's hand and followed his mother to the entrance hall. Their voices carried back. Low, intense, impossible to make out individual words. Alicia sat frozen at the table, her heart pounding. She'd passed or failed, she couldn't tell which. 10 minutes later, Dante returned alone. His expression was unreadable. "What did she say?" Alicia asked. "She said, you're either the best actress she's ever seen, or you're actually falling for me." He poured himself a drink from the bar cart. "She can't decide which." "What did you tell her?" "That it didn't matter either way." He downed the whiskey in one swallow. "As long as you play your part, that's all I am to you, isn't it?" "A part to play." Dante turned to face her fully. "What do you want me to say, Alicia? That this is real? That I'm actually falling for the virgin college student I blackmailed into this arrangement?" He laughed. But there was no humor in it. "This is business. It's always been business. Then why did you kiss me in the car?" "To sell the performance. Liar." The word was out before she could stop it. His eyes went black. "What did you just call me?" "You heard me." Alicia stood, her hands shaking but her voice steady. "You said you don't lie, that you're brutally honest. So be honest now. Why did you kiss me?" He crossed to her in 3 long strides, backing her against the wall. His hands bracketed her head, caging her in. "You want honesty?" His voice was rough. "Fine. I kissed you because you looked at me like I was something more than a monster. Because for 1 second, I wanted to believe that someone like you could actually want someone like me." His face was inches from hers. "But we both know that's crap. You're terrified of me. You should be. I'm everything you were taught to run from. I'm not running. You should be. Make me." The challenge hung between them. Dante's eyes dropped to her mouth, and for 1 breathless second, Alicia thought he was going to kiss her again. Instead, he pushed away from the wall, putting distance between them. "Go to bed, Alicia, before I do something we'll both regret." "What if I don't regret it?" "You will." He turned away from her. Everyone does eventually. Alicia went upstairs, her body trembling with adrenaline and something else she didn't want to name. In her suite, she changed into pajamas and tried to sleep. But every time she closed her eyes, she saw Dante's face, felt his hands on her skin, heard his voice. "I wanted to believe that someone like you could actually want someone like me." At 2 a.m., her phone buzzed. A text from Dante. "My mother approves. She thinks you're good for me. She's wrong, but at least she's convinced." Alicia stared at the screen, then typed, "What if she's not wrong?" 3 dots appeared, disappeared, appeared again. Finally, "Don't make it this complicated." Her response was immediate. "You already did that." No response came. The next morning, Alicia woke to find a note slid under her door. Dante's handwriting, sharp and precise. "Engagement party is Saturday. Sophia arrives Friday. Until then, stay out of my way." She crumpled the note in her fist. Fine, he wanted distance. She'd give him distance. The house had a gym. Alicia found it on the 2nd floor, empty at 7 a.m. She ran on the treadmill until her lungs burned, until she couldn't think about anything except putting 1 foot in front of the other. When she finally stopped drenched in sweat, she found Dante watching her from the doorway. "Wait, how long have you been there?" She panted. "Long enough." His eyes traveled over her sports bra, leggings. Skin flushed. "You're being chased." "Maybe I am." "From what? You," she wanted to say. "This." "Everything instead. Myself." Something shifted in his expression. "That's the one thing you can't outrun. Speak from experience, always." He moved into the gym, heading for the weights. "Don't let me interrupt." They worked out in silence, Alicia on the treadmill, Dante lifting weights that would have crushed her. She tried not to watch the flex of his muscles, the way his shirt clung to his back with sweat, failed completely. When he caught her staring, he smirked. "See something you like?" Wondering how someone so fit can be so full of it. He laughed, actually, laughed. The sound unexpected and devastating. "There she is, the girl with a spine. She never left. No." He set down the weights and walked toward her. "She's just been hiding, scared of the big bad wolf." "I'm not scared of you, liar." He stopped inches away, close enough that she could feel the heat radiating off him. "You're terrified, but you are also too stubborn to admit it." "Sounds like someone else I know." His hand came up, cupping her jaw. His thumb traced her lower lip, still swollen from where she'd bitten it during her run. "You're dangerous," he said softly. "More dangerous than you realize. To who? To me." Then he kissed her again, and this time it wasn't for show. This time it was hungry, desperate, real. His hand slid into her hair, pulling her closer as his tongue swept into her mouth. Alicia responded without thinking, her body pressed against his, her hands gripping his sweat-soaked shirt. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Dante's eyes were black with want. "This is a mistake," he said roughly, "probably. I can't give you what you want. What do I want? Love, a future, anything beyond 6 months." His hands tightened in her hair. "I'm not that man, Alicia. I'll never be that man. I didn't ask you to be." "You will, eventually, they always do." He released her and stepped back. "Stay away from me before this gets more messed up than it already is." Then he was gone, leaving her alone in the gym, her body still burning from his touch. 3 days until Sophia arrived. 3 days until the engagement party. 3 days until everything became more complicated. Alicia went back to her room and found Valentina waiting. "We have a problem," Valentina said, without preamble. "What kind of problem?" "The Falcone. They've been digging into your father's finances. They found his gambling debts." Valentina's expression was grim. "They know Dante paid them off. They're putting pieces together." Alicia's blood ran cold. "What does that mean?" "It means we need to make this engagement so convincing that even the Falcone believe it's real. Which is why tomorrow you and Dante are doing a photo shoot for the engagement announcement." Valentina pulled out her tablet. Society pages, social media, everywhere. We're selling the fairy tale. And if they still don't believe it, Valentina's eyes were hard. "Then people start dying. Starting with your father." The photo shoot was scheduled for 10 a.m. at the mansion. Alicia spent 2 hours with a team of stylists who arrived at dawn. Hair, makeup, wardrobe changes that cost more than her father's annual salary. By the time they finished, she looked like someone from a magazine. Someone who belonged in Dante Moretti's world. Someone who wasn't her at all. The photographers set up in the library, transforming it into a stage with lights and reflectors and equipment that probably cost more than most people's cars. Alicia stood by the window in a white silk dress that clung to every curve, waiting for Dante to arrive. He walked in at 10:15, 15 minutes late, looking like he'd rather be anywhere else. His suit was charcoal gray, perfectly tailored, his hair still damp from a shower. When his eyes landed on her, he stopped mid-stride. "Problem?" Alicia asked. "You look," he didn't finish the sentence, just shook his head and turned to the photographer. "Let's make this quick. I have a conference call at 11. Mr. Moretti, these things take time. You have 45 minutes. Dante's tone left no room for argument. Use them well. The photographer, a nervous man named Marcus, positioned them by the fireplace. "Okay, let's start with something classic. Mr. Moretti, stand behind Miss Romano, hand on her waist. Miss Romano, lean back into him like you trust him completely." Alicia moved into position. Dante's hand settled on her waist, his touch burning through the thin silk. She could feel every inch of him pressed against her back, his chest, his thighs, the heat of his breath against her neck. "Relax," he murmured against her ear. "You're stiff as a board. Maybe because I'm being photographed like a piece of property. You are property. My property for the next 6 months at least." His hand tightened on her waist now. "Smile like you're happy about it." She turned her head slightly, meeting his eyes over her shoulder. "Go to hell." He smiled, genuine and devastating. The camera clicked rapidly. "Perfect," Marcus called out. "That tension is exactly what we need. Keep looking at each other like that." They went through a dozen more poses. Dante sitting in a leather chair, with Alicia perched on the arm, his hand possessive on her thigh. Alicia standing by the window with Dante behind her, his arms wrapped around her waist. Both of them on the sofa, her curled into his side, his fingers threading through her hair. Each touch felt like fire. Each moment stretched between them like a wire pulled too tight. "Now let's get some intimate shots," Marcus said. "Mr. Moretti, I need you to kiss her. Nothing too explicit, but make it look real." Dante's jaw tightened. "We've done enough. The society pages want romance. They want to see the big bad Dante Moretti actually in love." Marcus checked his camera settings. "Just one good shot. That's all I need." Dante looked at Alicia. She could see the war playing out behind his eyes. The need to maintain the facade, fighting against something else. Something darker. "Fine." He pulled her closer, his hand cupping her jaw. "But we're doing this my way." He kissed her like he was drowning, and she was air. Deep, consuming, utterly devastating. His tongue swept into her mouth, claiming her in front of everyone. Alicia's hands fisted in his jacket, pulling him closer, even as her brain screamed that this was wrong. This was fake. This was going to destroy her. The camera clicked endlessly in the background. When Dante finally pulled back, his eyes were black. "Good enough." Marcus stared at his camera screen, speechless. That's perfect. Then we're done." Dante released Alicia and walked out without another word. She stood there, lips swollen, body trembling, while the stylist team packed up around her. Marcus approached carefully. "Miss Romano, you okay?" "Fine." Her voice was steady, a miracle. "Just need some air." She found Dante in his office, a forbidden West Wing room that no one was supposed to enter. The door was open. He was behind his desk, pouring whiskey, even though it wasn't even noon. "That was convincing," Alicia said from the doorway. He didn't look up. "That was necessary, was it? Or did you just want an excuse to kiss me again?" Now his eyes lifted. Cold. Dangerous. "Get out of my office." "No." She stepped inside, closing the door behind her. "You don't get to kiss me like that, and then pretend it meant nothing." It didn't mean anything. It was for the cameras. The cameras stopped clicking 30 seconds in. You kept going for another minute. His hand tightened on the glass. You're reading too much into this. Am I? She crossed to his desk. Or are you lying to yourself about what's happening between us? Nothing is happening between us. He set down the glass with controlled precision. You're a means to an end. A solution to a business problem. That's all you'll ever be. The words should have hurt, should have sent her running. Instead, they made her angry. You're a coward, she said flatly. He was around the desk before she could blink, backing her against the wall. What did you just say to me? You heard me. You're terrified. She met his eyes without flinching. Not of the Falcone, not of your enemies, of this. Of feeling something real for once in your miserable life. His hand wrapped around her throat. Not choking, just holding. A warning. You don't know anything about my life. I know you push away anyone who gets too close. I know you use fear and intimidation to keep people at a distance. I know you're so scared of being vulnerable that you'd rather be alone than care about someone. And you think you're different. His grip tightened slightly. You think you're special, that you can save me. I don't want to save you. I just want you to stop lying. Her pulse hammered against his palm. To me, to yourself. They stared at each other, the air crackling between them. Then Dante's phone rang, shattering the moment. He released her and grabbed the phone. What? Alicia watched his expression change from anger to something harder, colder. A pause. How many? Another pause. I'll be there in 20 minutes. He hung up and grabbed his jacket. Stay in the house. Don't leave the property. Don't answer the door for anyone except staff. What's happening? The Falcone just hit one of my warehouses. 3 of my men are dead. He checked his gun. Alicia hadn't even realized he was armed and headed for the door. This is escalating faster than I expected. Dante, stay here. His eyes were black ice. I mean it, Alicia. If they're making moves this bold, they won't hesitate to grab you to get to me. Then he was gone, leaving her alone in his office, her heart racing and her throat still burning from his touch. Valentina found her 10 minutes later. You need to pack a bag. Small essentials only. Why? I'm on my own. Because if the Falcone are escalating, we might need to move you to a safe house. Valentina was already pulling Alicia toward the stairs. Mr. Moretti's orders. He wants you ready to leave at a moment's notice. I'm not going anywhere. You don't have a choice. Valentina's expression was grim. 3 men died today, shot execution style in broad daylight. The Falcone are sending a message. This arrangement with you isn't scaring them off. It's making them more aggressive. Alicia's stomach turned over. People are dying because of me. People are dying because this is a war that started long before you signed that contract. You're just another piece on the board. Valentina pushed her into her suite. Now pack. We don't have time for an existential crisis. Alicia was shoving clothes into a duffel bag when her phone rang. Sophia. Her hands froze. She couldn't answer. Couldn't pretend everything was fine when men were dying, and Dante was out there doing God knows what. If she didn't answer, Sophia would worry, would call Dante, would come home early, she answered. Hey, oh thank God. I've been calling for an hour. Sophia's voice was breathless, excited. Leslie, you're never going to believe this. I'm at the airport. I'm coming home tonight instead of Friday. Alicia's blood turned to ice. Tonight? Why? Because I couldn't wait. My brother is getting married. My best friend is going to be my sister. I need to be there for understood. He's coming with me. Actually, he wants to meet Dante. Sophia laughed. This is going to be amazing. Sophia, maybe you should wait. Wait? Are you insane? I've already boarded. We land at JFK at 8. Can you pick me up? I know it's last minute, but I can't. Alicia's mind raced. I'm at Dante's place. I don't have a car. Oh, right. You're living there now. Still can't believe that. That's all. Sophie's paused. Okay, I'll just grab an Uber, but I'm coming straight to the mansion. We have so much to catch up on, and I need to see this ring everyone keeps talking about. Sophia, be careful tonight. Love you. The line went dead. Alicia stood frozen, phone in hand, while panic clawed up her throat. Sophia was coming home tonight, into the middle of a war zone. She called Dante. No answer. Texted him. Sophia's coming home tonight. Landing at 8. No response. She tried again and again. Nothing. Valentina appeared in the doorway. Packed? Sophia's coming home tonight. She's flying in right now. Valentina pulled out her phone, typing rapidly. Okay. We can handle this, we just need to. 3 men died today. Alicia's voice rose. The Falcone are actively attacking, and my best friend is flying into the middle of it. We can't handle this. Keep your voice down. Valentina's eyes darted to the hallway. The staff doesn't need to hear you panicking. I'm not panicking. I'm being realistic. You're being emotional, there's a difference. Valentina grabbed her shoulders. Listen to me. Sophia cannot know what's happening. If she finds out about the attack, about the danger, she'll ask questions. Questions we can't answer without blowing this whole arrangement. So, what do? We pretend everything is perfect. You and Dante are blissfully happy. The engagement party is on track, nothing is wrong. Valentina's grip tightened. Can you do that? Alicia thought about Sophia's excitement on the phone. Her best friend, who thought this was a fairy tale, who was flying across the ocean because she was so happy. I can do it, Alicia whispered. Good, because if you can't, if you slip even once, Sophia will figure out something's wrong. And if she starts digging, Valentina didn't finish the sentence. She didn't have to. Dante finally called back at 6 p.m. I heard about Sophia. Where are you handling the situation? I'll be back by 7:30. We'll pick her up together. His voice was clipped, professional. Make sure you're ready. And Alicia, don't tell her about today. About any of it. I wasn't planning to. Good. A pause. How are you holding up? The question surprised her. Why do you care? I don't. I just need to know if you're going to fall apart when you see her. I won't fall apart. See that you don't. He hung up. Alicia changed into jeans and a sweater. Something normal. Something that looked like her old life. She stared at herself in the mirror, practicing her smile. Trying to find the girl who had existed a week ago before Dante, before all of this. She couldn't find her anywhere. At 7:30, Dante strode through the front door. He changed clothes. The suit from this morning was gone, replaced by dark jeans and a black Henley, but there was blood on his knuckles. Fresh blood that he hadn't bothered to wash off. Jesus Christ. Alicia grabbed his hand. What happened? Nothing you need to worry about. He pulled away, heading for the bar. We leave in 10 minutes. You can't pick up Sophia looking like you just killed someone. I didn't kill anyone. He poured whiskey, downed it. Today. I didn't kill anyone today. The distinction made her stomach turn. Dante, drop it. He turned to face her. We're picking up my sister. You're going to smile and hug her and act like everything is perfect. Can you do that or not? Yes. Then let's go. The drive to JFK was silent. Marco drove while Dante sat in the back, typing on his phone with controlled fury. Alicia watched the blood on his knuckles start to dry, turning dark brown against his skin. Whose blood is that? She asked quietly. You don't want to know. I do. He looked up from his phone. A man named Vincent Falcone. He was the one who ordered the hit on my warehouse. I found him in Queens, had a conversation with him about boundaries, and sent him back to his father missing 2 fingers. Alicia's stomach lurched. You cut off his fingers. I was going to cut off his hand, but I'm trying to de-escalate. Dante returned to his phone. He's lucky I'm feeling generous. That's generous in your world? Yeah. He glanced at her. This is who I am, Alicia. This is what I do. So if you're having second thoughts about playing this role, now's the time to speak up. She thought about Sophia, excited and oblivious. About her father somewhere in rehab, fighting his demons. About the contract she'd signed and the life she'd chosen, no second thoughts. Liar. But his hand found hers in the darkness, squeezing once. But I appreciate the commitment to the performance. They arrived at JFK at 7:50. Dante washed the blood off his hands in an airport bathroom while Alicia waited outside, trying to slow her racing heart. When he emerged, he looked normal, controlled, like a man picking up his sister, not someone who had just mutilated another human being. Showtime, he said. Sophia came through customs at 8:15, dragging a massive suitcase and practically glowing with happiness. A man walked beside her, tall Italian, maybe 30, with kind eyes and an easy smile. Giovanni. Dante. Sophia dropped her suitcase and threw herself at her brother. He caught her, spinning her around, like she weighed nothing. I missed you so much. Missed you too, troublemaker. He set her down, his expression softer than Alicia had ever seen. You cut your hair. You noticed. Giovanni said it made me look more sophisticated. Sophia turned, grabbing Alicia's hands. And you? Oh my God. Let me see the ring. Alicia held out her hand. The emerald caught the fluorescent lights, throwing green fire across Sophia's face. Holy crap. That's Nana Lucia's ring. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. Dante, you gave her Nana's ring. It seemed appropriate. Dante's hand settled on Alicia's lower back. She's going to be family. Sophia pulled Alicia into a hug so tight it hurt. I'm so happy. So happy. You have no idea. Alicia hugged her back, breathing in her best friend's familiar vanilla perfume, and felt something crack open in her chest. This was real. Sophia's happiness was real, and Alicia was lying to her face. Me too, she whispered, so happy. When they pulled apart, Sophia was crying for real. Giovanni handed her a handkerchief with practiced ease. Sorry, I'm a mess. Sophia laughed, wiping her eyes. I've just been so worried about Dante. He's been alone for so long, throwing himself into work, never letting anyone in, and now he has you. She grabbed both of Alicia's hands. You're going to be so good for him. I can feel it, Sophia. Dante's voice held a warning. What? I'm not allowed to be emotional? Sophia turned to her brother. You're getting married, Dante. Actually married to my best friend. Let me have this moment. Giovanni stepped forward, offering his hand to Dante. Giovanni Russo, it's an honor to finally meet you. Sophia talks about you constantly. Dante shook his hand, his expression assessing. She talks about you too. A sculptor, right? Yes. I work primarily in marble. Giovanni smiled. Though lately I've been experimenting with bronze. Sophia's been my muse. How romantic. Dante's tone was flat. Let's get your bags. It's late. In the car, Sophia couldn't stop talking about Paris, about Giovanni, about the engagement party, about wedding plans that didn't exist. Alicia sat between her and Dante, feeling like she was being torn in half. So, when's the wedding? Sophia asked. Please tell me you're not doing one of those long engagements. I want to be a bridesmaid before I'm 30. We haven't set a date yet, Dante said smoothly. We're taking things one step at a time, one step at a time. You proposed after a week. Sophia laughed. That's not taking things slow, big brother. When you know, you know. Dante's hand found Alicia's, threading their fingers together. To Sophia, it probably looked romantic. Alicia could feel the tension in his grip, the warning. Don't slip. Don't break. Don't tell her the truth. Back at the mansion, Sophia insisted on giving Giovanni the full tour, while Dante disappeared to take a phone call. Alicia followed them through the massive house, watching her best friend point out childhood memories. The staircase where she'd broken her arm, the library where Dante had taught her to read, the gardens where their mother used to grow roses. This place is incredible, Giovanni said softly to Alicia. You must feel like you're in a fairy tale. Something like that, Alicia murmured. Sophia told me you two have been friends for years. She's very protective of you. Giovanni's eyes were kind. She said you're the sister she always wanted. The words were a knife to the gut. She's the same to me, Alicia managed. They ended up in the library where Sophia collapsed on the sofa with a happy sigh. I'm so jet-lagged, but I don't want to sleep. I want to stay up all night talking like we used to in the dorms. Remember? I remember. Alicia sat next to her. You'd keep me up until 3 a.m. talking about whatever guy you were dating, and you'd fall asleep mid-sentence because you had an 8 a.m. class. Sophia grabbed her hand. God, I miss this. Missed you. Missed you too. So, tell me everything. How did it happen? When did you realize you loved him? Sophia's eyes sparkled. I need all the details. Alicia's throat tightened. She opened her mouth, searching for another lie, when Dante appeared in the doorway. Sophia, you must be exhausted. Why don't you and Giovanni get settled? We can catch up tomorrow. His voice was gentle, but his eyes were on Alicia, reading her, seeing her about to crack. But I'm not tired. You flew across the Atlantic. You're tired. Dante crossed to the sofa, kissing Sophia's forehead. Go sleep. Tomorrow we'll have breakfast, and you can interrogate Alicia all you want. Sophia pouted, but stood. Fine, but I'm holding you to that. She hugged Alicia again. Thank you for making my brother happy. He deserves it. After they left, Alicia sat frozen on the sofa. Dante poured 2 glasses of whiskey and handed her one. Drink. She drank. The whiskey burned, but it was nothing compared to the guilt eating through her chest. I can't do this, she whispered. I can't lie to her face. Not when she's so happy, you have to. Why? Why can't we just tell her the truth? She'd understand. No, she wouldn't. Dante sat next to her. Sophia has spent her entire life believing I'm different from the rest of our family. That I'm legitimate, clean, not part of the darkness. If she finds out about the contract, about your father, about what I really am. He shook his head. It would destroy her. So instead, we destroy me, if that's what it takes. His voice was hard. I told you from the beginning, Sophia is the only good thing in my life. I will burn down the world to keep her safe, including you. Alicia turned to look at him, really look at him. The sharp angles of his face, the darkness in his eyes, the controlled violence in every movement. You really don't care about me at all, do you? Something flickered across his expression, too fast to catch. I care about you playing your part. That's all that matters. You're lying again, and you're reading too much into this again. He stood, taking her empty glass. Get some sleep. Tomorrow's going to be a long day. Sophia will want answers, and you need to have them ready. What if I tell her the truth? He went very still. Then your father dies, your best friend's heart breaks, and I make sure you regret it for the rest of your very short life. He turned to face her fully. Don't test me, Alicia. I've already told you what I'm capable of. After he left, Alicia sat alone in the library, staring at the engagement photos Marcus had taken. They had been printed and framed, displayed on the mantel like trophies. In every shot, she and Dante looked perfect together. In love, happy. Completely fake. Her phone buzzed. A text from Sophia. I know I should sleep, but I'm too excited. Just us? Alicia stared at the message, her finger hovering over the keyboard. She could ignore it, pretend she'd fallen asleep, buy herself a few more hours before the lies started again. Instead, she typed. Come to my room, East Wing, 3rd floor. Sophia arrived 10 minutes later in pajamas. Her hair wet from a shower, looking more like the girl Alicia remembered from college than the sophisticated woman who'd stepped off the plane. Okay. I know Dante said to wait until tomorrow, but I have to ask. Sophia climbed onto Alicia's bed, crossing her legs. Do you love him? Really, truly love him? The question hung in the air like a grenade. Why are you asking? Because I know my brother. He's brilliant, successful, protective, but he's not exactly warm. He keeps people at a distance, always has. Sophia's expression was serious. And you're the warmest person I know. You volunteer with dying kids. Leslie, you cried during the Notebook. You're all heart. And I'm worried he's going to hurt you without meaning to. That he's so used to being alone that he won't know how to let you in. Sophia grabbed her hand. So, I'm asking, is he letting you in, or are you in love with someone who's never going to love you back? Alicia's chest cracked wide open. I don't know, she whispered. The first true thing she'd said all day. I don't know what this is, what we are. He says it's real, but then he pushes me away. He kisses me like I'm the only thing that matters, then tells me I'm just a business arrangement. I don't, her voice broke. I don't know what's real anymore. Sophia pulled her into a hug. Oh, honey, that's just Dante being Dante. He's scared. He's probably never felt like this before and doesn't know how to handle it. If only you knew, Alicia thought. If only you knew what your brother really is. What do I do? She asked into Sophia's shoulder. You be patient. You keep loving him. You show him that it's safe to love you back. Sophia pulled away, cupping Alicia's face. And if he hurts you, if he ever makes you feel like you're not enough, you tell me and I will kick his ass. Brother or not. Alicia laughed despite the tears streaming down her face. Deal. They stayed up until 2 a.m., talking like they used to, about everything and nothing. Sophia told stories about Paris, about Giovanni, about the life she was building overseas. Alicia listened and responded and pretended her own life wasn't a carefully constructed lie. When Sophia finally left, yawning and happy, Alicia lay in bed and stared at the ceiling. Tomorrow was the engagement party. Tomorrow she'd have to smile and laugh and convince 200 people that she was madly in love with Dante Moretti. Tomorrow she'd have to lie to everyone who mattered. But tonight, alone in the darkness, she could finally admit the truth to herself. She was falling for him despite everything. Despite the threats and the contract and the blood on his hands. She was falling for the man who had bought her like property and promised to throw her away when he was done. And that terrified her more than anything else. Alicia woke at dawn to find a garment bag hanging on her door. No note, just black fabric visible through the clear plastic, and the faint scent of Dante's cologne clinging to the material. The dress for tonight, the engagement party where she'd seal her fate in front of 200 witnesses. She pulled it out slowly. The gown was stunning, midnight black silk that would hug every curve, with a neckline that plunged dangerously low and a slit up one thigh. It was the kind of dress that demanded attention, that said, I belong to Dante Moretti and everyone else can go to hell. Her phone buzzed. Dante, wear your hair down. No jewelry except the ring. Be ready by 6. No good morning. No acknowledgement of their conversation last night in the library. Just commands. Alicia typed back. What if I want to wear my hair up? His response was immediate. Then I'll take it down myself. Your choice. She threw the phone on the bed and went to shower, trying to wash away the exhaustion and the guilt, and the terrifying realization that she was in love with a man who saw her as a business transaction. The water was scalding hot, but it couldn't touch the coldness spreading through her chest. Sophia knocked at 8 a.m. with coffee and pastries, and a smile that made Alicia want to cry. Emergency breakfast meeting, Sophia announced, settling on Alicia's bed. I need to know everything about tonight. What you're wearing, who's coming, whether Dante's actually going to smile or if he's going to brood in a corner like usual. He doesn't brood. He absolutely broods. It's his default setting. Sophia bit into a croissant, but he's different with you. I saw it last night. He actually looks at you like you matter. If only you knew how little I actually matter, Alicia thought. Tonight's going to be overwhelming, she said instead. I don't know most of these people. I don't know the rules. The rules are simple. Smile. Be gracious. Let Dante do the talking. Sophia grabbed her hand and stick with me. I'll run interference if anyone gets too nosy. What about Giovanni? He's nervous as hell. Meeting my family is apparently more terrifying than showing his sculptures to the Guggenheim. Sophia laughed. But he'll be fine. Dante will probably grill him for an hour about his intentions, but that's just Big Brother protocol. Alicia's stomach twisted. Does Dante know about Giovanni, that we're serious? Yeah, I told him last month. Sophia's expression softened. He wasn't thrilled at first. Asked me if Giovanni was using me to get to the family business. I told him that was paranoid even for him. What did he say? That everyone wants something from a Moretti, that I should be careful. Sophia rolled her eyes. Classic Dante. Trust no one. Except apparently you, which is why I know this is real. The words were a knife to the chest. They spent the morning together like they used to, watching movies, gossiping about people from college, pretending everything was normal. Giovanni joined them for lunch, charming and easy in a way that made Alicia ache. This was what relationships were supposed to look like. Light, simple, true, not whatever toxic thing was brewing between her and Dante. At 3 p.m., Valentina appeared with a team of stylists. Time to transform you into a Moretti bride-to-be. The next 3 hours were a blur of hair and makeup, and last-minute adjustments to the dress. By the time they finished, Alicia looked like someone from a different world. Her dark hair fell in soft waves past her shoulders. Her makeup was dramatic, smoky eyes, red lips that looked like she'd been kissed hard. The dress fit like it had been painted on, the fabric clinging to every curve before falling in a waterfall of black silk. She looked dangerous, expensive, like she could break hearts without trying, like she belonged to Dante Moretti. Perfect, Valentina said with satisfaction. Now remember, tonight is about selling the fairy tale. You're madly in love. He's completely devoted. Any crack in that facade, and the Falcone will smell blood. No pressure. All the pressure. Valentina's expression was grim. 3 more of Dante's men were found dead this morning, tortured. This war is escalating faster than anyone anticipated. Tonight isn't just a party. It's a statement. You need to make the Falcone believe that hurting you would destroy Dante, that he'd burn down their entire organization to keep you safe. And if they don't believe it, then they'll test it, and people will die. Valentina handed her a small clutch. Your phone's inside. Don't lose it. If something goes wrong, I'll text you a code word. If you see it, you run. No questions. What's the code word? Nightingale. Valentina checked her watch. Guests start arriving in an hour. Dante wants you downstairs in 20 minutes. Don't be late. Alicia descended the grand staircase at exactly 5:40. Her heart pounding against her ribs. The mansion had been transformed. Flowers everywhere, candles, string lights that made everything look like a dream. Staff moved through the rooms with military precision, setting up bars and passed appetizers and making sure every detail was perfect. Dante stood in the entrance hall talking to 2 men in suits who looked like they could kill someone with their bare hands. He was wearing all black suit, shirt, tie, and he looked like sin incarnate. When he glanced up and saw her on the stairs, he went completely still. The men kept talking. Dante didn't hear a word. His eyes were locked on Alicia, traveling over her slowly, and something dark and possessive flashed across his face. "Excuse me," he said to the men without looking at them. "We'll continue this later." He met her at the bottom of the stairs, his hand immediately settling on her waist. The touch burned through the thin silk. "You look." He stopped, started again. "Christ, Alicia, is that a compliment? It's a warning." His hand slid lower, resting possessively on her hip. "Every man in this room is going to want you tonight. They're going to look at you and imagine things that will get them killed. And you?" His eyes met hers. "I don't have to imagine. I already know exactly what you feel like in my arms." Heat flooded her face. "We need to talk. Not now. Guests are arriving." He pulled her closer, his mouth brushing her ear. "Remember, you're madly in love with me. Act like it. I don't have to act." The words slipped out before she could stop them. Dante froze. "What did you just say? You heard me." Alicia forced herself to meet his eyes. "I'm not acting anymore, Dante. I haven't been for days." Something cracked in his expression. "Alicia." "Mr. Moretti." A butler appeared. "The first guests have arrived." Dante's jaw tightened. "We'll discuss this later." "Will we? Or will you just avoid me like you've been doing all day?" Later. His grip on her waist became almost painful. "Right now you smile and play your part. Understand?" She understood. She just didn't care anymore. The guests arrived in waves. Business associates, family members, people whose names Alicia would never remember. Each one congratulated them, examined her ring, made comments about how quickly Dante had fallen. She smiled until her face hurt, laughed at jokes that weren't funny, let Dante touch her constantly. His hand on her back, her waist, her shoulder, claiming her in front of everyone. Sofia and Giovanni stayed close, running interference when guests got too invasive. Isabella Moretti arrived fashionably late, sweeping through the crowd like a queen. When she saw Alicia, she actually smiled. "You look beautiful, my dear. That dress is perfect." Isabella kissed both her cheeks. "You're learning quickly." "Learning what?" "How to be a Moretti woman. Strong, untouchable, absolutely terrifying beneath the beauty." Isabella's eyes sparkled. "I approve." Dinner was served, a 10-course meal that Alicia couldn't taste. She sat next to Dante at the head table, his hand possessive on her thigh under the tablecloth, while toasts were made and speeches were given about their love story. Carlo Benedetti stood, raising his glass. To Dante and Alicia, "May their love be as strong as their combined bank accounts." Everyone laughed. Alicia wanted to throw up. Roberto stood next. To the couple who proved that even the devil himself can fall in love. More laughter, more champagne, more lies piling up until Alicia couldn't breathe. Then Sophia stood, tears already streaming down her face. To my brother and my best friend, the two people I love most in the world. You deserve each other. You deserve all the happiness. She raised her glass. To love that conquers everything. Alicia's chest cracked wide open. After dinner, dancing started. A live band played while couples filled the floor. Dante led Alicia to the center, pulling her into his arms with practiced ease. You're shaking, he murmured against her ear. Sophia's toast broke me. I saw. His hand tightened on her waist. You need to hold it together for a few more hours. I can't keep lying to her, you have to. He spun her slowly, his body pressed against hers. For her sake, for yours, for everyone's. What about for your sake? She looked up at him. Or don't you care what this is doing to you? His eyes were black, unreadable. What I care about doesn't matter. It matters to me. They danced in silence, the music swelling around them. Then Dante pulled her closer, his mouth against her ear. You said you were not acting anymore. What did you mean? Alicia's heart hammered. Exactly what you think I meant. Don't. His voice was rough. Don't do this to yourself. Too late. She pulled back to look at him. I'm already doing it. Before he could respond, someone tapped his shoulder. One of the suited men from earlier. Boss, we have a situation. Dante's expression went cold. What kind of situation? The Falconi, they're here. The music kept playing, but Alicia felt the shift in the room. Felt Dante's entire body tense. Felt the other men in suits move to strategic positions around the perimeter. How many? Dante asked quietly. 4. At the gate, saying they're here to pay respects. They're here to make a statement. Dante looked at Alicia. Go find Sophia. Stay with her. Don't leave her side until I come get you. What are you going to do? What I do best. He kissed her forehead, the gesture almost tender. Handle problems. He walked away before she could argue. Alicia found Sophia and Giovanni by the bar, laughing with friends from college. Her best friend looked so happy, so completely unaware that 4 members of a rival mafia family were at the gate. There you are. Sophia pulled her into a hug. I was just telling everyone about the time you tried to cook pasta and nearly burned down our dorm. Alicia forced a laugh. In my defense, I was studying for finals. You were reading Caravaggio and forgot you were cooking. Sophia grinned. Classic Lizzie. 4 men walked in, and the temperature in the room dropped 20 degrees. They were young, late 20s, early 30s, dressed in expensive suits that couldn't hide the violence in their eyes. The one in front was handsome in a dangerous way, with dark hair and a smile that promised pain. Dante met them in the center of the room. Vincent, I wasn't expecting you. Really? Vincent Falcone, the man Dante had mutilated yesterday, held up his left hand. 2 fingers were missing, wrapped in white bandages. After yesterday's conversation, I thought we should continue our discussion. The room went silent. Every eye turned to the 2 men facing off in the middle of the dance floor. This is a private party, Dante said quietly, for family and friends. But we're friends, aren't we, Dante? Old friends who go way back. Vincent's eyes scanned the room, landing on Alicia, and this must be the beautiful fiancée we've heard so much about. Dante moved to block his view. You've paid your respects. Now leave. So hostile. And here I brought a gift. Vincent snapped his fingers. One of his men stepped forward with a box. A peace offering from my father to yours. I don't have a father. He's dead. Your family killed him. Details. Vincent smiled. Open the box, Dante. I think you'll find it very interesting. Dante took the box. Opened it. His expression went absolutely still. What is it? Carlo asked from the side. A message. Dante's voice was ice. He turned the box around. Alicia couldn't see what was inside from where she stood, but she saw the reaction ripple through the room. Saw men reach for weapons hidden beneath their jackets. Saw Isabella's face go white. You sick bastard, Dante said softly. Am I? I thought I was being poetic. Vincent's smile widened. That's from one of your warehouse guards. The one who survived yesterday's little incident. He wanted you to know he won't be testifying about what he saw. You killed him. We motivated him to reconsider his choices permanently. Vincent's eyes found Alicia again. But enough about business. I came to congratulate you on your engagement. She's lovely, Dante. Truly lovely. Innocent looking too. How refreshing. Dante moved so fast that Alicia almost missed it. 1 second Vincent was standing. Next he was on the floor with Dante's hand around his throat. You look at her again and I'll kill you, Dante said quietly. Not quickly. Not mercifully. I'll take weeks doing it. Dante. Isabella's voice cracked like a whip. Not here, not tonight. Dante didn't move. Leave now, before I forget my mother is watching. Vincent laughed even with Dante's hand crushing his windpipe. This is exactly what we wanted to see. You're getting soft, Moretti. Love makes you weak. Dante released him abruptly and stood. Get out. Vincent climbed to his feet, still smiling despite the bruises already forming on his throat. We'll see ourselves out. Lovely party. The food was ex-Alicia. Congratulations, sweetheart, enjoy him while it lasts. Women in our world don't tend to have long shelf lives. They left. The room stayed silent for a long moment. Then the music started again. Conversations resumed. People returned to dancing like nothing had happened. Everything had changed. Alicia could feel it. Sophia grabbed her arm. What the hell was that? Who were those men? Nobody important, Dante said, appearing at Alicia's side. Old business rivals trying to stir up trouble. That didn't look like business. That looked like. Sophia stopped. Dante, what's going on? What are you involved in? Nothing you need to worry about. His hand settled on Alicia's lower back. Why don't you and Giovanni go enjoy the party? I need to speak with Alicia privately. No, I want answers, Sophia. Dante's voice held a warning. Not tonight. Sophia stared at her brother for a long moment. Then she looked at Alicia. Did you know about this? The question was a punch to the gut. Know about what? Alicia managed. Whatever my brother is involved in. Whatever those men wanted. Sophia's eyes filled with tears. You two have been acting strange since I got here. Tense, like you're hiding something. And now this. There's nothing to hide, Dante said firmly. You're jet-lagged and emotional. Go upstairs. Rest. Don't talk to me like I'm a child. Sophia's voice rose. I'm not stupid, Dante. I see what's happening here. This isn't just about rival businesses. Those men were dangerous. Actually dangerous. Sophia, Alicia started. And you? Sophia turned on her. My best friend. Did you know what you were getting into when you agreed to marry him? Did you know about any of this? Alicia's throat closed. She looked at Dante, saw the warning in his eyes, say no, lie to her, protect the illusion. But she couldn't, not anymore. Yes, Alicia whispered. I knew. The room tilted. Sophia stepped back like she'd been slapped. What? I knew. Tears streamed down Alicia's face. I knew what your brother is, what he does, what this world really is. Alicia. Dante's voice was deadly quiet. Stop talking, but she couldn't stop. The lies had been building for too long, pressing against her chest until she couldn't breathe. I'm sorry, Sophia. I'm so sorry. I never wanted to lie to you. Enough. Dante grabbed her arm. We're leaving now. He dragged her toward the exit. Sophia followed, Giovanni trying to hold her back. Let go of her, Sophia shouted. Dante, what the hell is going on? What did you do? They reached the entrance hall. Dante spun to face his sister. Go back to the party, Sophia. Forget what you just heard. Forget? Are you insane? Sophia's voice cracked. My best friend just admitted you've been lying to me. About what? About how dangerous you are, about what this family really does. You don't want to know the truth. Yes, I do. I'm not a child anymore, Dante. Stop protecting me from reality. The reality will destroy you, Dante roared. Is that what you want? To know that our family fortune is built on blood, that I've killed men with my bare hands, that the only reason you've had a safe, perfect life is because I've done things that would give you nightmares. Sophia went white. You're lying. I wish I was. Dante's voice broke. I wish I could be the brother you think I am, but I'm not. I'm a monster, Sophia. I always have been. Then what is she? Sophia pointed at Alicia. What is this engagement? Another lie. Silence fell like a guillotine. Alicia looked at Dante, saw the war playing out behind his eyes. Tell her the truth and break her heart. Keep lying and lose any chance of redemption. It started as a lie, Alicia said quietly. Your brother needed a fiancé to show his enemies he was settling down. I needed him to save my father from his gambling debts, so we made a deal. 6 months of pretending, then we'd go our separate ways. Sophia made a sound like she'd been stabbed. No, but somewhere along the way, it stopped being pretend. At least for me. I felt Alicia's voice, Sophia. With the monster, with the man who terrifies me, with everything he is. You're lying. Sophia's tears fell freely now. You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't use me like this. I never wanted to use you. I never wanted any of this. Alicia stepped toward her best friend. But I did it anyway because my father's life was on the line. Because your brother gave me no choice. There's always a choice. Sophia screamed. You could have said no. You could have told me. If I told you, Dante would have killed my father and you. Alicia's voice broke. He was trying to protect you from all of this. From the truth. Sophia looked at her brother. And is that true? You threatened her father? Dante's silence was answer enough. Oh my God. Sophia backed away from both of them. You're a monster, an actual monster, I know. Dante's voice was hollow. I've always known. And you? Sophia turned to Alicia. You let him manipulate you, use you, turn you into a liar. I had no choice. Everyone has a choice. Sophia's face crumpled. I thought you were my friend. I thought you actually cared about me. But this whole time you were just playing a part. Both of you. Sophia, please. Alicia reached for her. Don't touch me. Sophia jerked back. Don't ever touch me again. You're dead to me, both of you. She turned and ran up the stairs, Giovanni following close behind. Alicia stood frozen, watching her best friend disappear. The party continued behind them. Music and laughter and people who had no idea the world had just ended. You shouldn't have told her, Dante said quietly. I had to. I couldn't keep lying. So instead, you destroyed her. He turned to face Alicia. Congratulations. You just lost your best friend and accomplished nothing. I told her the truth. The truth doesn't matter. What matters is that Sophia now knows her entire life has been a lie, that her brother is exactly what she always feared, that her best friend betrayed her. Dante's eyes were empty. Was it worth it? Alicia's chest felt like it was caving in. I don't know. We'll figure it out because this arrangement just got a lot more complicated. He pulled out his phone. The Falconi saw that scene. They know there's a crack in the facade now. They'll exploit it. What does that mean? It means the war just escalated. He looked at her with something that might have been regret. It means people are going to die, and it's going to be your fault. The words were a knife to the heart. My fault? You're the one who created this mess. And you're the one who just made it worse by telling the truth. Dante's voice was ice. I told you from the beginning, this world doesn't work on honesty. It works on fear and control and lies. You just proved you don't understand that. Maybe I don't want to understand it. Then you're in the wrong world. He turned away. Go to your room. Stay there until I tell you otherwise. We'll deal with the fallout in the morning. Dante, go before I say something I can't take back. Alicia ran up the stairs, down the hallway, into her suite, where she slammed the door and finally let herself break down. Great heaving sobs that tore through her chest and left her gasping for air. She'd lost Sophia, lost her best friend, the one person in this nightmare who'd been real and true and good. And for what? For a man who saw her as a business transaction. For a contract that was always meant to be temporary. For 6 months of pretending that had turned into something real for her, and nothing for him. Her phone buzzed. A text from Sophia. I never want to see you again. Don't call, don't text, don't try to explain. You and my brother deserve each other. Then another text. I'm leaving tomorrow. Going back to Paris. If you ever contact me again, I'll block you everywhere. We're done. Alicia stared at the messages until the words blurred together. Then she threw the phone across the room and heard it shatter against the wall. A knock on her door made her freeze. Go away, Dante. It's not Dante. Isabella's voice. Let me in, child. Alicia opened the door. Dante's mother stood in the hallway, still perfect, despite the chaos downstairs, her expression unreadable. I heard what happened, Isabella said quietly. May I come in? Alicia stepped aside. Isabella entered, closing the door behind her. You told Sophia the truth. Yes, that was monumentally stupid. Isabella sat on the edge of the bed, but also incredibly brave. It didn't feel brave, it felt like betrayal. Sometimes they're the same thing. Isabella patted the bed next to her. Sit, let me tell you something about this family. Alicia sat, her body still shaking from the crying. When I married into the Moretti family, I was 16 years old, Isabella began. Arranged marriage, my father sold me to Antonio to settle a debt. Sound familiar? Alicia nodded mutely. I hated Antonio, hated his world. Hated being trapped in a marriage I never chose. Isabella's eyes were distant. But I learned something important. In this world, you survive by being smarter than the men who think they control you. You play their games while building your own power. I don't want power, I just want my friend back. You can't have her. Not now. Maybe not ever. Isabella's voice was gentle, but firm. Sophia lived her whole life in a bubble that Dante created to protect her. You just popped that bubble. She'll never forgive either of you for that. Then what was the point if telling the truth just made everything worse? The point is that you chose honesty over safety. You chose to stop living a lie, even though it cost you everything. Isabella took Alicia's hand. That's the choice of a Moretti woman. Strong, uncompromising, willing to burn it all down for what matters. What matters? I just destroyed my best friendship for a fake engagement that's going to end in 6 months anyway. Is it fake? Isabella's eyes bored into hers. Is it really? Alicia's throat tightened. He says it is. My son says a lot of things to protect himself. He's terrified of caring about people because everyone he's ever loved has left him or died. Isabella squeezed her hand. But I saw the way he looked at you tonight before the Falconi arrived, before Sophia found out. That wasn't pretend, Alicia. It doesn't matter what I think it was. He's made it clear. He's made it clear that he's scared. Isabella stood. Give him time. Let him process what happened tonight. And in the meantime, decide what you really want. Because this arrangement might have started as a lie, but it doesn't have to end as one. She left, and Acalia was alone again, with her shattered phone and her shattered heart. Hours passed. The party wound down. Alicia heard voices in the hallway, doors closing, cars leaving. Eventually silence fell over the mansion. At 3 a.m., her door opened. She didn't turn around. I told you to stay away from me, she said to the darkness. I tried. Dante's voice was rough, broken. I can't. He crossed the room, and Alicia finally turned to look at him. He'd shed his jacket and tie. His shirt was unbuttoned, and he looked absolutely wrecked. Sophia left, he said quietly. Took the first flight back to Paris. She won't answer my calls, I'm sorry. Don't be. You were right to tell her. He sat on the edge of her bed. I've been lying to her for years, protecting her from a truth she deserved to know. You just ripped off the band-aid I'd spent a lifetime applying. She hates us both now. She hates me. She just feels betrayed by. Dante looked at her with eyes that held too much pain. There's a difference to you, not to her. They sat in silence. Then Dante reached for her hand, threading their fingers together. You said you're not acting anymore, that you're in love with me. Alicia's heart stopped. I shouldn't have said that. Why not? Is it true? Would it matter if it was? It would matter. His grip tightened. It would change everything. How? This arrangement ends in 6 months. You've made it clear I'm just a business solution. I lied. The words were raw. I've been lying since the moment I met you. To you, to myself, to everyone. Alicia's breath caught. What are you saying? I'm saying that somewhere between the contract and the lies and the performance, you became real. He pulled her closer until their faces were inches apart. I'm saying that I'm terrified because I've never felt like this before. Like if I lost you, it would actually matter. Dante. I'm saying that I'm in love with you, Alicia Romano, and I have no idea what to do about it. The words hung in the air between them. Everything Alicia had wanted to hear. Everything she'd been too scared to hope for. Say something, Dante said roughly. Tell me I'm not insane for feeling this way. Instead of answering, Alicia kissed him, poured everything into it, the fear and the love, and the desperate hope that maybe this could be real. Dante responded immediately, his hands tangling in her hair, pulling her into his lap as he deepened the kiss. When they finally broke apart, both breathing hard, Dante rested his forehead against hers. This is a terrible idea, he whispered. The worst. We're going to destroy each other. Probably. And I don't care. He kissed her again, softer this time. I've spent my whole life being careful, being controlled, protecting myself from feeling anything real. I'm done with that. What about the contract? The 6 months? Screw the contract. His hands cupped her face. I want you, Alicia, not for 6 months, not as part of an arrangement, for real, for as long as you'll have me. Tears streamed down her face. Even though I destroyed your relationship with Sophia? Even though the Falconi are escalating? Even though everything is falling apart? Especially because of all that. He wiped her tears with his thumbs. You stood up to me. You chose truth over safety. You showed me what it looks like to actually care about something more than power and control. His voice broke. You made me want to be better than the monster I am. You're not a monster. I am, but maybe with you, I could be something else. He kissed her forehead. Maybe we both could. Alicia wrapped her arms around him, holding him like she'd never let go. What happens now? Now Dante pulled back to look at her. Now we deal with the Falcone. We figure out how to fix things with Sophia. We navigate this insane world together. He smiled, and it was genuine, and we stopped pretending any of this was ever fake. Together. Together, he kissed her again. I'm all in, Alicia. For the first time in my life, I'm choosing something for me. Choosing someone, and I'm choosing you. The words were everything, the promise she'd been too scared to hope for. The future she'd never let herself imagine. I love you, she whispered against his mouth. I love you too. He stood, pulling her up with him, and I'm going to spend the rest of my life proving it. They fell into bed together, and for the first time since this nightmare began, Alicia felt something other than fear and desperation. She felt hope. She felt like maybe, despite everything, they could actually build something real from the ashes of all the lies. Outside, dawn was breaking over the city. The engagement party was over. Sophia was gone. The war with the Falconi was escalating. But in this moment, wrapped in Dante's arms, Alicia finally understood what Isabella had meant. Sometimes you survive by being smarter than the men who think they control you. Sometimes you burn it all down and build something new from the wreckage. And sometimes, against all odds, the lies you tell become the truth you live. The monster becomes the man. And the virgin who signed a contract to save her father becomes the woman who saves herself by choosing love over fear. This was her life now. Dangerous, complicated, absolutely terrifying. But it was hers. She'd chosen it. She'd fought for it, and she wasn't letting go. What are you thinking? Dante murmured against her hair. That I should have been more scared of falling in love with you than I was of your world. And now? Now I'm terrified. She looked up at him. But I'm doing it anyway. He smiled, and it transformed his whole face. That's my girl. Brave even when she's breaking, not breaking anymore. Alicia kissed something new. Together he agreed, And in that moment, despite the war brewing outside their walls, despite the best friend she'd lost, despite the blood and lies and darkness that would always be part of this world, Alicia knew she'd made the right choice. She'd chosen truth. She'd chosen love. She'd chosen Dante Moretti, monster and man, with all his flaws and all his fierce devotion, and he'd chosen her right back. Not as property, not as a contract, but as an equal, a partner. The woman who'd walked into his darkness and demanded he step into her light. This was their beginning, raw and real and absolutely terrifying. But it was theirs. Built on truth instead of lies, on choice instead of force, on love instead of fear, and that made all the difference.